What up, guys? Welcome back to All Gas Podcast. I'm Factor.
I'm Kevin.
And today we have here Brian, a.k.a. Gutz.
What's up, man? Thanks for sitting down.
No, thanks for having me on your guys' show.
Before we get started here, I just want to say thank you for the views. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We're on audio format from iTunes, Google Podcasts, Podcast Addict, Spotify. Big shout out to the homie Mason for letting us film here today.
Thank you,
a.k.a.
Mason.
Fat Kid 661. Thank you, sir. Also, this is a show where we talk about racing and racing only, so let's keep it on that. Also, let's get it going, guys.
Well, first off, I'd like to thank you guys for having me on the show. Like I said earlier, it's cool, being able to be a part of your guys' podcast. I've seen some of your guys' episodes.
Only some? Alright, cool. That's cool.
Well, I haven't seen the H2B Ryan one, which... Sorry, buddy.
Shout out Ryan, H2B Ryan.
But...
Fake friend.
Fake-ass friend.
And, like, on some of those, I hear people talking about,
let
me bring out
right.
some
He brought out some guests.
All you guys talk about this, but he's really about it.
In case anybody wants to know, here you go. Old school VTech controller.
Hey, I still have the harness and everything still worked on.
It's for sale, tap in.
Hell no. You think he's going on the race car.
Alright.
He's all Motec and the old school controller.
I don't need the dash. I just
Right.
need that.
Crazy.
Alright, speaking of racing, a lot of people know you have like this crazy ass good job. You have traveled the country racing. Let's get into just kind of how you started in the scene and what your first car kind of thing is. Yeah, what's your first car? Let's do that. What's your first car?
Well, the funny thing is, my first car is the car everybody knows, which was my 98 Acura Integra LS, which originally was a LS automatic. I got it through a Marine buddy of mine. He pretty much had it, and I looked at it because my little brother actually was one that wanted an Acura Integra, and this Integra came across when I was stationed in Camp Pendleton. And with that, I offered him, like, hey, you have an Integra, like, I want to get it off you. And he kind of went back and forth for a bit, and finally he was just like, you know what, I'll sell it to you then. So I ended up buying it from him, and, I actually have a picture of it when I had it on jack stands and just doing the first oil change and spark plugs and kind of looking at what I had.
Send it to me so I can have it later.
What's that? Yeah.
Send it to me so I can post it.
And, so the car that everybody knows, which is the red Integra, also known as Luna, was my first car.
Oh, okay. That was your first original car?
Yeah, that is my
Very first.
first car.
Damn.
Finally, someone who don't have an EF.
That's
Yeah.
second. That's number two.
Second one.
Number
yeah.
two.
No, I will say, though, I did have a CRX maybe I would say like three and a half years ago, but it was in my possession for like 2 weeks, and then I got rid of it.
That wasn't like your real
First.
car.
No, it wasn't my first car.
No, we're talking about first car.
I've actually owned, like, under my name was Integra. So I had my 98 LS Integra, Milano Red Luna. I had a second gen LS Integra White. I'll send you a picture of that one too. And that one was more like a car that my brother got. And, well, I got it for him, but he didn't. He ended up not wanting it, and I sold it. And then my daily that I had as well was a 1987 Acura Integra with a D16A1. So
Oh, shit.
I heard like how you guys talked about with Aaron that he swapped that motor over to one of his cars. So being able to hear that motor being swapped over and all that kind of had that nostalgic feeling. I was like, well, I actually own that one.
That's pretty cool.
And they were all LSs too across the board.
Nice.
I never had like an RS or a Type.
So what made you go with the Honda scene instead of going muscle car or anything else? What made you go with the Honda scene?
What really started was I grew up the beginning of my life in like LA, so like my mom hung around with a lot of the cholos and all that, and I actually was into lowriders for quite some time growing up. I wanted 1967 or like a 1966 Impala, if I remember, or I don't know if it was 70. I don't remember what it was, but I was like, I wanted a lowrider for like the longest time because I just thought it was super cool and everything like that. Until like, I would say once I got the car, it kind of was like
Phased out.
I got because I was kind of still chasing for a car I wanted, but then a lowrider like could have been in my budget, but at the same time, I was kind of what would be like. It's not that I phased out of it, because I still like lowriders.
Yeah, you just that's not your goal of.
But when I got that car, I was, it was just like a daily driver kind of thing. Like I wasn't into like racing Hondas or anything like that. I got it, and then I went to one of my friend's house, and he's like, "Dude, you got an Integra? Like you could put a GSR in it, and or like a Type R motor or something fast in it." And I was like, the moment he said that, the lights started turning on, and I was like, "Oh, I can do this. Let me Google it up," and then it eventually evolved into a
race car.
Yeah, as we could somewhat say it as we got going.
About what year did you like start doing this?
Yeah, when did you get it?
I got Luna in 2013.
Yeah.
In October. Cool. I got it, and probably it wasn't until October. Well, it wasn't until like maybe 2014 is when I started, getting some small mods.
So about 6 years.
Yeah, almost hit my 6 year mark.
Yeah,
almost.
Cool.
Well, since I lost it,
So everybody knows you for that car, and everybody knows some crazy stories that you went to Honda Day and that shit.
Yeah, and that.
What made you want to take it to Honda Day? Yeah. Because a lot of people on the West Coast, for me that was like that's still one of my goals to race on the East Coast. A lot of people. For me, I see it foreseeing in the future, whereas you fucking did it really short time. You just plain out did it, and you did it not only once, twice, but 3 or 4 times. So, like, what made you want to go do that?
Well, the story on that one of H Day was not something that I really thought about. So what it was is I'm part of a team called SSR, Southern Series Racing.
Uh-huh.
And my buddy Kevin, he has a teal 80, I believe an 89 EF hatch. Correct me if I'm wrong, Kevin. I'm sorry. And he was the one telling me, "Hey, have you heard about this event?" And I was like, "Well, I know a lot of the events going on. I hear, what is it?" And he showed me a picture of it and some of the events going on, which they had it at each.
So you didn't even know about it?
No.
Oh, okay.
I had no clue about it. All I knew was I only knew a lot of like the West Coast events. So we're talking about DRN, CMI, IFO,
stuff like that.
all the events in the West Coast. The East Coast, I was still kind of cut off from it. Like I knew about, was it Rod Week? What is it? Rod Week, I believe, the one where they travel from state to state and go racing.
Oh, holy crap!
Fuck. Damn, you give me
Drag Week.
Drag Week, there we go. I heard about that in the Midwest,
yeah.
But I never heard about H Day, and then I kind of got like a crash course on it, like that was the biggest Honda and Acura gathering in the world, and it still is, and he showed me about it, and he's like, "I want to take my car out there and go race in the East Coast," and I was like, "You know what? Fuck it, let's do it." Like, I was working on a mom and pop tire shop, so like I was able to schedule around like my week paid off on it, and sure enough,
we get bum rush right now.
Rock.
Everyone's grabbing for something.
My PTSD almost kicked off.
So what happens when you're in the hood?
Yeah. So I got schooled on it, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'll plan my days around it, and let's do it. And we were supposed to go in the summertime when they had it at E-Town in 2018, in the beginning of the year. Or I would say the spring.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Yeah.
They didn't have they didn't have the summer one until New Hampshire in 2019.
Yeah.
So we were gonna go, and I was kind of yellow lighted for sure because I was waiting on him to give me a response back when we were gonna do it.
Oh, okay.
So I was waiting on him. So I was kind of going based off his window to know when we were gonna go, because ultimately I was like locked and loaded. Like I was like, all right, let's do this. If you're good for those dates, I'll start preparing. But I didn't prepare because I was waiting for him. And sure enough, it was a month before, and he red lighted and was like, I can't go. And I was like, fuck, I really wanted to go. I planned for it. And luckily, I just took back my vacation days on it, and I got canked. But I told him, I was like, you know what? If we're not going to go for the springtime one, let's go for the wintertime one. This gives me 3 months to plan out so I can start preparing and also piling up parts. You know, spare alternator, spare starter, axles, pretty much the essentials. And then he was like, "Okay, I'm down," and time kept going, but I was kind of minding my own, you know, making sure I had everything. Cause I know because he works at Mossy Nissan in Escondido, so he had resources to bring as well if something happened. Yeah. And he was on a truck and trailer for his car. I was still, you know, dealing my car. So as time progressed, I kept all my parts, and I was piling up, saving money. You know, asking people, "Hey, you got to spare this, spare that? Can I borrow it? Like, I want to use it." You know, so I had spare wheels, you know, and all the essentials. And then the month before it came, he's like, "I can't go to that one neither." And I was like, "Okay, well, if you're not going to go, fuck it, I'm going to go." And sure enough, you know, like I started, the 3 months became 2 months, and then 1 month, and then 2 weeks before. And I was just like, oh, fuck, the event's right around the corner. Like, this is really going to happen. If you're going to go by yourself, you better be fucking ready. Because I'm going by myself, like, no support, no nothing. Like, it was just mind-blowing because I was like, I'm really going to cross the country in my car that people knew I kind of had some issues with, you know, an alternator going out, battery dying, like, just stuff that I kind of neglected, but at the same time, like, they knew that I could get on my feet because as of that point, I was still traveling to, like, Vegas, you know, Arizona, all the different states to go race. And then the day before came, and they, you know, everybody's like, "Bro, you're leaving tomorrow." And I was like, "Don't remind me," because, like, I don't know. And it's funny because my friend Nando, big shout out Nando, I didn't forget about you. He had a set of HX wheels, the 14s. Yeah. And everybody knows HXs don't fit on the Integra wheel because I believe the offset is...
Drive that shit in reverse, grind
hard.
it down.
Okay.
What the fuck? You ain't never done that shit? You put the HX wheels on, put that shit in reverse, and you drive backwards. It'll grind the inside of the wheel enough to clear the caliper.
Here's the funny thing. What that fucking No, but it's funny because it's not the caliper that hits it. I wish I had like a GSR spindle. The brake caliper that mounts
it's
onto
the bracket.
It's the bracket that sticks out a bit. I remember being at Nando's house. And I took the fucking whole arm off the car and I cut that bracket off. that little thing that looks like a C. And he's like, "Dude, that's not safe." And I was like, "I gotta make these wheels fit." Because at the tire shop, I would get used wheels. So, like, if a customer came by and they would have, like, fresh tires and they just were like, "Oh, I didn't like how they ride," or, you know, they were just sitting for so long on a car that they wanted fresh tires on it, I would put those to the side, and that's how I was managing to save spare tires. So finding a 15 was rare because, you know, not a lot of the newer cars had 15, but usually when we get like a grandma car that come in, they would be on Steely still. So I was like, "Fuck, 14s, hell yeah!" I mounted them on them, and he was like, "Dude, those shit's not gonna fit." I'm like, "Watch." Cut it off with an angle grinder, put the wheels on, spun it, and I was like, "They fit."
Oh, fuck.
And he was just like, and I'm pretty sure he still has the Instagram story of him recording it, and he's saying, "I'm gonna record this because you doing the dumb things that people on Honda Techers and they would say don't try, but it works." And it worked, and sure as shit. Those were up front. I have a picture of it. I'll send it to you when I got to Maryland with those HX wheels. So, for those that don't believe it, I have a picture of it. And
once again, we don't advise doing half the shit that our guests say and do, but yeah, shit sometimes works.
But it worked. And so, that night, I went home and I loaded up the car. And I will be sending you all these fucking pictures and videos and shit of how the car... It looked like a fucking clown car. Like, that car was fully loaded.
So how many times in total did you go?
3 times.
3 times? 3 times.
I went 3 times. And well, go ahead.
I was going to say, what do you think is the most memorable trip out of the 3?
Well, that's a really good one because even the last time I went was still memorable. But the first time and the second time, because... You know, the first time was a big memorable moment was because a lot of people that I knew and they were worried about me, but at the same time they were worried like the car wouldn't do it. So that was the biggest thing, is that a lot of the people that I knew one of my buddies that was like, I'll give your car to fucking Blythe, California. Yeah. And I'm like, I've been to Vegas. I think that's a little bit farther or whatever the case may be. I don't think so. And they were giving me to like Blythe and like
that's
Arizona.
not even that far from where you're
That's
at.
kind of messed
Exactly.
up.
Yeah,
some people were
far.
downing me. They were like, watch, you're going to get to Blythe or somewhere where you're going to have to call. And my buddy Kevin was even saying, if you're like end up breaking down before Texas, I'll take some days and come fish you out. But that was a big motivation, but then it was still like one of those where I was like, man, fuck you guys, right?
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
I'm
You ain't gonna
homie.
make this shit.
But it ended up becoming...
But don't you agree that sometimes that negative energy turns
Yeah,
to positive?
it motivates, because like...
You want to stuff it in their face.
Well, you want to prove them wrong.
Yeah, that was the moment, because the biggest moment that I had was that night, and the way when I leave for H days, I leave that Monday morning at midnight, so I could kind of see. The first time was pretty much seeing how I do, so I left at midnight so I could at least get a head start, or what I assumed was a head start, in case of anything happening. And so I got to a rest stop in Arizona, and I remember stopping there, and I'm sitting in my Butler prototype seat that has a strap. I have a fucking seat that's not a Kirky, but it was pretty much an aluminum seat. No cover. Had no cover on it. I had a fucking my Jeeper Creeper, the one from Cornwell, I folded up as a butt pad.
Oh fuck.
And I remember sitting in it and trying to prop my head onto the pillow, folding it, and I had my blanket over it, my red blanket. The red blanket that was in storage. And I was covering myself in it. And I was trying to fall asleep, and it was
a very specific detail that we needed to know.
Hey, that blanket has seen coast to coast. Like, that has covered the car.
Okay, what's seen more, those or the world famous Felinines? You thought you were gonna get to this episode without the Felinines, bro?
Felinines. We'll go to that one when the time comes on that, which will be probably later. I know. Well, those Felinines, man. Hey. That helped Pollito go into the 9s, Mason into the 9s, fucking those just it helped not to the 9s yet, Jessica, but in time they will. But those motherfuckers, the cop collar ones, the fucking Felinines, you know.
Fuck around and find out ones.
No, these.
Those are the
fuck around and find out ones, alright?
Shout out Aaron.
Shout out Aaron.
But
no,
the shoes that I would use were my Chucks, so those I still have. And Jessica's like, what the
I
fuck
would
are
not
those?
doubt that you have still have those.
Yeah, those shit. First H Day in 2018, and I had those.
And I bet you wrote H Day 2018. You put them aside somewhere. It's like,
I still wear them. They're written inside.
Christ, I'm about to buy you a pair of fucking shoes.
I'll show you a picture of them when we get home. They've seen better days.
Let me know your Venmo. I'll send you some money for some shoes again.
But no, I remember propping the pillow up, and I was just like trying to get some sleep. It was 4 a.m. I pushed from Temecula, California to that rest stop, and it was like 4:30 in the morning. I was propping my head onto trying to get some sleep. Like, I would go to sleep and then wake up an hour, go to sleep, wake up an hour, go to sleep, and finally it was 8 o'clock, and I wanted to time my sleep. If I was going to sleep at 4, let me at least get 4 hours of sleep and get back on the road again. And I remember waking up after the last hour of sleep, and I was like, fuck, dude, like, this is miserable. Like, and I was just thinking, like, you know, if I just turn back around, like, it's no dirt off my shoulder kind of thing. People make fun of me, but I could just be like, hey man, it was a little bit troubling. Like, it was just hard. But then I thought about all the times I was in the Marine Corps, like, you know, all the shitty places we slept in.
Thank you for your service. Appreciate
Right.
you wearing the
Thank
Marine
you.
Corps.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Appreciate that.
Thank you for that. But I thought about like all just the shitty times that like we've slept in the cold, in the rain, fucking in the desert, in the fucking cold, like everything in general. And I was just thinking to myself, you know, you've been through worse, and now you have a luxury here, and you're still complaining about it. Like, dude, suck it the fuck up. And then I thought as
I know
well.
the feeling. I drove to Tennessee twice by myself, and I don't like driving. And I was in a fucking TL, and I still was like, this sucks. It's just that drive's just long.
Yeah, that's one of the.
Sorry, the peanut gallery's getting us again.
Yeah.
This motherfucker texts me.
Yeah.
He's just mad because he can't.
Did he
do the
text you too?
episode.
Yeah.
God damn
Yes.
it, makes
Put the torch on it. The gas is
You
on.
gotta get the torch, bro. You just do it. Hurry up. Do it. You're on show.
You can't even get you.
Hey,
it's
you
not
might-
even on camera.
Okay, go ahead then.
And
Jesus
so,
Christ.
and so I was just
The
thinking,
gas is on.
No,
the
I
gas
turned
is
it off,
on.
but if you're gonna do it
You better
again-
turn it on.
just hit it with the torch.
It's gonna make good content.
Jesus Christ. Going viral.
Going viral.
He's gonna kick the camera again.
I think he did already. Tell you the truth.
No, he didn't.
We got that timeout.
Time out. All right, let's pause it real quick.
Where'd the torch go?
Sit down.
I told you.
We're okay. We're okay.
Dude, I smell hair. All I smell is hair.
I wish I
Right
would
here.
have kicked it.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
It's just my hair.
Holy shit.
Hopefully you got that.
No, we didn't get the
You're
fireball.
not in there, but
We heard it all.
It's on camera.
I
bro.
bet you see it.
Okay.
Poof.
Alright.
That's
Hold on.
the clip be like, this is why we had to do that.
Holy
Hey,
shit.
wait, get the food warming.
Holy.
That moment of sleep, and I was like, fuck, if I turn around, like, no one's really gonna care about I might get my balls
They already
busted,
think you're
like,
gonna fail anyways.
yeah, so
So
they're gonna be like, see, you doubted your car, and then, all the shitty sleeps when I was in the Marine Corps, like, I was just like, fuck. I know, like, a lot of people know the upcoming and everything there, like, they would be surprised that I gave up on something, I was never really one to give up. Like, when I did the swap over from auto to manual in the car, like, I didn't give up. Like, it took me 5 days to figure it out. I read a Helms manual, the Integra one, forward to remove it, and then backwards to install with a
What the
manual
hell?
transmission, and that's how my car became a manual. Still with the LS in it and all
Yeah.
that, but all those moments, I was like, I can't give up. And then one line, I forgot where I heard it from, but all I remember was, "Hey Brian," in my head. It was like, "Hey Brian, Mama didn't raise no bitch." I was like, yeah. So after that, I kind of got up and I was like, you know what, gotta keep trucking, and I kept going. And next thing you know, I was going through Arizona on the 10, because the 40 had like a detour at that time where the 40 was closed from Cali all the way to Arizona. So I detoured through the 10 and then looped around and took, I think, the 19 to Flagstaff. And then when I got to Flagstaff, I stopped at a rest stop there and I did a video, like a little clip, what I prepared in. In the video, you see me with 4 VP cans, because I was on E85 at that time.
Oh,
I didn't know
Jesus.
much about like flex fuel and all that kind of stuff, like running it with pump too. So
Yeah.
all my trips were on just the 85.
Oh,
Just
fuck.
EQ. So and what was even worse is at that time too, like, I was deleting stuff from my car, so I didn't have the cigarette lighter and to charge. So every time I stopped somewhere, I would have to rest a bit, not really rest, but like relax and charge my phone. So I would have to find ports and plugs to try to charge my
I would have
phone.
left that thing in there.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I would have left.
I didn't think about it. I was just thinking like weight reduction and all
Right, go
that.
fast.
Yeah, I bear in mind, I was like into figuring out a lot about cars, but I wasn't. I was still pretty much is all the stuff that I know now and more about cars was through Luna. She was pretty much my experimental phase
Yeah.
of figuring things out, like, fucking VTEC, non-VTEC, how to do
Oh, because
wire
that was your
tucks
first
and-
car, and you,
So-
you
Yeah,
weren't
so I
around Honda,
experimented
yeah.
a lot.
So most of your knowledge about cars, you would say, is based off of you learning from the car, or did you have
No,
someone that taught you a lot of the stuff?
no. Unfortunately, I didn't have like a mentor.
Yeah.
Like before I was with Southern Series Racing, I was with a couple other groups. But my first group that I still have on the hatch of my windshield is the Ruins, and this was through my older brother's friend Edgar, and he got me into the crew. And he had a buddy that had an Integra, and his was a GSR. His was an actual GSR, and. Another friend of mine, Aaron. Hey, big shout out to Aaron.
Shout out Aaron.
Not to Speed Factory Aaron and all them, but my friend.
Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah,
No,
Aaron
we don't
and
like
Richard
Speed
and all
Factory,
them.
Aaron. I'm just kidding.
He showed me a lot because he had an EG hatch and he did a lot of stuff, and they were older than me. And as you've seen, like, I hang out with a lot of like the older cats because like the people that I knew was like how when we were talking about like how people in the forums and everything, they just pretty much like bash on you or something and all that, and what I've seen from. So the older generation had a lot of info and they were teaching me a lot of stuff. So mentor, not necessarily, but more like a helping hand. And I just read, like, I wish I would have brought that Helms manual because you would see how battle hardened it is. Like, grease on it, pages falling apart, like this. Like, it was just, you know what? If I get it or find a picture of it, I will send it to you so you can see and you'll be like, holy shit.
Yeah.
How well used it is.
Yeah, it is. It is definitely. I announced that as, like, my Bible for the car. Because I went through
Someone shoot
everything.
that fool.
Yeah.
Someone shoot that dude.
That book went through so much because it taught me a lot just reading because it had everything. Obviously, it wasn't no like hands-on experience, so I learned everything through my own through that car and the book, and then giving me tips and tricks.
Okay, so you make it to H Day that day the first time. What was your goal? What was your overall? Was your goal just to like race there? Was it to like win, or was it just to make a hit, or was it just to be there? Or
well, what's funny is that whole trip was at first like something to do something out of the ordinary. You know, like I've heard stories before. Like I've seen West Coast cars and the East Coast. I didn't know about like World Cup and anything about that neither.
Yeah.
So I didn't know. I've heard cars going over there truck and trailer style, but quote me if I'm wrong, like forgive me, I don't want to bash on anybody or say that I did it first, but from what I've heard personally, nobody has ever driven a car from coast to coast, raced it to the full potential of what it has, and then bring it back home in one piece.
Just the drag week guys, that's the only ones I've ever
but
known.
but the drag week guys don't even do coast to coast. They do a couple states on the East Coast. They do like a small little circles. They're not doing.
I think it's like 1,000 miles.
Yeah, it's
all
like
the way
1,000
around.
miles. It's not really.
No, it's
that
not coast
much.
to coast, but it's
But
From track to track. I get what you're saying.
no,
Some people travel.
I get it. You know, that's cool. But I mean, that's like going California, Arizona, New Mexico,
Texas.
Nevada, Texas, and then
30.
making a kind of loop. That's kind of like what they're doing. I mean, that's still crazy, and I'm not knocking that. But
Oh, yeah,
to
no,
go
I agree
from
with you,
LA to fucking MIR to Maryland is something, or New Hampshire is fucking. That's crazy. That's a long distance.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, to
3,200.
race your fucking car to its full potential, and then drive it back.
And like trust, like that feeling, like I still think about that feeling too, because everything I went through, I got pulled over once on the way out there in Texas. Like cop pulled me because my license plate lights were dangling. And bear in mind, in Cali, they've been dangling for fucking a couple months already.
they pulled you over because your license plate was California.
Yeah, but it was funny. What's funny is they pulled me over. And they're like, license registration. I gave them my info, and they're like, all right, you know, like, your taillights are dangling, you know, they're falling off, like, you know, and, well, we're not going to arrest you tonight, like, you're coming from Cali and all that, we don't want to, like, stop you. And,
Like, you
and I
can
was like,
get arrested for your
no.
lights dangling?
When they stopped me, they said I had a warrant. And I was like, whoa, time out. I was like, hold on, sir. I was
Dude.
like, I'm not trying to be
You
rude.
scared the shit out of me.
Yeah,
I was like,
I
"Damn,
was like, dumbfounded. I was like, whoa, a warrant? Yeah, and he was like, yeah, you have a warrant for your arrest.
That's
in the state of
Texas.
Texas. And I was like, hold on a minute, hold on. The last time I was in Texas was when I was in high school. I was a junior going out there for American Veterans Foundation when I was in ROTC.
Yeah.
And I landed on the airport. And I stayed in the airport. What have I done at that
Yeah.
time?
What did I do at the
I didn't
airport?
have a license at that time. Like, was there something going on? And I was like, he's like, are you sure? And I'm like, I am like 1,000% sure. Like, I never left that airport, nothing. Like, we had chaperones for that. Like, ain't no fucking way anything. Can you please review it, please? And he went back and he's like, yeah, there's somebody with pretty much, because they go based off your description.
Mm-hmm.
That's why. They don't go off your info on the car, your license or your driver's license number. And he's like, yeah, there's somebody with your same name or something. I was like, is there another me out there? And so he just that, and I was like on the side of the road, like fixing it, putting it back on, everything, and then he let me go, and I was like, okay, I was on my way. So went through that, and that was like one of the scariest moments. 'Cause I was like, fuck, imagine that. Like, I have nobody to come fish me out in Texas. Nobody. But just arriving at Maryland International Raceway the first time, just stopping there first in line, like just stopping there, looking out, because like I took in the same picture with my car, Maryland in 2018 and then in 2019. It's the same picture where you can see MIR, the tower on the back, in the back, and the same nostalgic feeling that I had the first time, I still had the last time, which was I fucking did it. And that, like, as you were saying earlier, like, was I doing it for, like, a time or something? No, I mean, I didn't know at that time, too, that this was, like, the Super Bowl of tracks, you know, like, World Cup and everything like that. So I didn't know what meaning that track had, where records were broken. I mean, OSW has had records like that, too, there.
Yeah.
But for Maryland to be...
I think if you really go in our world, I think it's MIR and then OSW.
Yeah.
You know, if anybody, if you ask, I mean, the majority of our guests have all said, majority of the time it's World Cup Finals, and that's MIR. You know, a lot of people don't really talk about going to OSW. Though OSW, we're not knocking OSW because, I mean, as we were watching earlier today, there is numbers getting put down. I mean, I think more sevens have been put down at OSW than over there because that's recent, you know, doing the recent, but... So, I mean, yeah, it ain't not gonna happen.
Yeah, but just getting there, I just remember, like, I was going, went over the bridge, and I was going down, and I made the right onto Budds Creek, and the moment I saw Budds Creek Road, I knew that the track was right there. Like, when I went over the bridge where it said, "Welcome to Maryland," like, I took a picture of that, and I was like, this is fucking it. Like, I made it with my car. The car that everybody doubted me to Maryland. And like I was saying, as I made that right onto Budds Creek and I went down, it was funny. I saw the, like, to go into to the track, it's like there's a store on your left, so the store caught my eye. I was like, wow, there's a store in the middle of nowhere. Like, because it was like a good, like, 3 miles, and then there's that gas station store, and I saw it said, oh, like, racetrack gas. And then when I looked to my right, I passed by Budds Creek. And on the track, I was like, shit! And I flipped the bitch around. And then I turned in, and it's like, I don't even know how to explain, like, that feeling. Like in a movie, they see it when, like, you go, like, the gates open, the doors open, it's like gold.
Yeah,
and, like, you know, like, the moment I turned in there, it was like, welcome to Maryland International Raceway, and I was going down. I was like, fuck, I should have just stopped and taken a picture there. Yeah. But I went down, and then, like, it just felt like that feeling of, like, holy shit, this is it. And then, like, I started feeling like there's something magical about this place. Like, it's crazy. And as I kept going down, it's probably like a quarter of a mile. Or probably maybe like 3/4 of a mile because of shutdown. As I went down, and there was nobody in line on Friday. It was like Friday at like 10 in the morning. And I rolled up and the gates were closed. And I remember just going there and then coasting on neutral. And then I just slowed to the stop right in front of the gate. And I just stopped there. And I was just like looking out the window. And then like I stopped there. And I was just like, the radio was playing. I still had a radio. The radio worked.
How do you have a radio but not a cigarette lighter?
Well, they run off the same.
I like my tunes. I like my tunes. Okay.
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, what did you listen to on the way there? Was it just music?
Well,
because when you travel different states, I know that I mean, just
the
go to
service
different
sucks.
counties. The fucking service, I imagine.
No,
changed.
I didn't have radio. Like I went on YouTube like as the time progressed and kept like my songs that I liked. I saved it, went to the YouTube converter, and I downloaded it into a USB flash drive, which had my E85 tune and my pump gas.
This motherfucker.
In case
what's your tune? I don't know. Grab my radio. It's right there.
I don't need that podcast tune anymore, but I need that new E.
And an 8 gig like SanDisk.
Like little slide out, one.
Yes, slide in, slide out.
Runs out of room.
I bet you
fucking
still have that right
videos.
next to your box of receipts, huh?
No,
It's still in the car.
That got destroyed when I lost my car, but that's a little bit later down the road as we talk about it. But I remember stopping there, looking at it, and I just like leaned back in the seat, and then all of a sudden the energy hit me, and I was like just like pulling on my Nardi steering wheel, like, we fucking made it, like slapping on the guys, like, we fucking made it, dude. Like I was just going crazy in the car, like everything, and then like
security camera guys watching.
Right.
What the fuck's wrong with that guy?
and I got
another tweaker in here. Get this guy out of here.
I stopped. I calmed down. I was like, I knew I was crying too, because I was like, I fucking did it. And I got out of the car and I was like kissing my car. I was like, we fucking did it, you fucking piece of shit. Like, we did it. And I went around and I'll send you up this picture, man, because I got out and I took a picture of it, and it was my car, and some of my people were hitting me up on HX wheels. and some people were like, "Where's the trailer at, man? Like, there ain't no
Yeah.
way. Like,
You
no
know it's
way.
behind you."
You know it's behind you or something." And I was like, "Fuck no, there ain't nobody here from Cali but me." And I took that picture and I posted it up and I tagged everybody that was supporting me for the trip. Like, some people, like, what was it? I believe I Shoot You, fucking H-Day. Like, everybody was reposting me like, this guy did it. Because some of the guys were already reposting me. Like,
Yeah,
H-Day was reposting
that's kind
me.
of when I first heard about you was seeing that post. I was like, damn, this fucking dude's fucking crazy. So I was like, man, drive all the way over there. This fucking Integra that looks like a piece of shit.
Trust me, I had titty fenders on one side, a bunny on the other side. Like,
I'm just saying, it looked like one.
yeah, like,
now with a 2-tone car.
yeah, it
His was
was
like 4-tone though.
it was just like,
Mine's still
like right here, like that's the
yeah,
picture.
I remember seeing that.
That picture
Because I remember going, there's no way that fucking thing made it there. I'll be honest with you. We're being honest.
No,
we're being honest.
it's
I'm being
fine.
honest with you. I mean, it needed. Bro, you gonna tell me that if you looked at it and I said that car drove from East Coast
We'll
to West
post
Coast,
this. Don't
man, you
worry.
just fucked it all up.
That's fine.
But you know what I'm saying?
Samsung
Like
problems.
you look at the car and I'm being honest. Majority of people are gonna say, "There's
Oh,
no
yeah.
way that fucking car made it there."
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it was just crazy.
I'm not
'cause-
saying, "Oh, there's
No.
no way he did," but I'm just saying there's no way. But I mean,
but,
big
like,
kudos to you.
But
for
it
doing
happened.
it was just wild because I took that picture and it wasn't just the fact that I made it, but it's the fact that a West Coast daily driver race car, as I call it a race car. That's my research. As some people would
See,
say, they're a race
I
car.
call my car a race car, but someone over here and someone over there fucking says, "Oh, it's not a race car."
And
But it's stock. Never mind. Anyways, keep on talking.
Just the,
I'll be nice this
just
time.
just the
Hey, Mason.
like being first.
Mason, this
like,
one's for you.
just driving from coast to coast and getting there with everybody doubting me, it was just like pretty much that everybody that said it wasn't gonna make it, like you're gonna need help or something. No, I had no help from nobody. Like my rear tires, because of all the weight, cambered them out, so I had to
Oh,
swap
shit.
over to the extra sets, and so I had two more. I had my 2 sets, and pretty much it was just like pretty much I was trying to like buy myself times with those tires because I knew I got to Tennessee and the tires were cambered out and the wire was showing, so I had to put the new set from there. And when I got there, I was like, these tires I can mix match one that wasn't cambered out and the other one like that, and
Show up
then
to a tire shop, flip them.
no,
Camber on the
I
outside.
didn't stop at a tire shop. I was just like, one tire got cambered out more than the other, so like I put
So-
2 and 2 together.
You went to actual H-Day, right?
Yeah.
I wonder, was there anybody with a tire changer there? That could help you out?
Well, like how I talked about it is I didn't know anybody at the time. I knew nobody. The only people that knew me were the H-Day guys, you know, like Brian with ESR, you know, Don, and all the guys that were reposting me. So people were like adding me and everything. They're like, if you need anything, let me know. Like I knew that there might have been a tire shop around there close by or something, but I was just still feeling like I was still on my own because
Yeah.
I'm still a Cali guy. But then, as much as people like to harp on my story about it, there's a driver there because it was me, and then it was 4 Pistons showed up behind me, and then behind him was a guy from Florida, and he's my buddy to this day. Like he's one of my closest friends. He's helped me out. He's helped Jessica out. He just sent a crank over for us for her K series all mortar build. His name is Jose, and when I met him, he was like, "You're from Cali," and I'm like, "Yeah," and it's like, "I saw you. I came from Florida," and at that time there was a hurricane coming through. I think it was the hurricane. Some hurricane. I know it'll fucking click in my head a little bit later, but he went through the hurricane. Like he went through like North Carolina, everything. Like
Yeah, because he had to come to the east.
yeah, and he was in an open trailer. His car, like, in his catch pan was water, like everything. Like he was telling me how he went through it and like he couldn't see farther than 5 feet in front of him. Cars were on the side of the road, flipped, all this and that. Like he had to take multiple detours. And Jose, if you see this, which I know you will, your story was badass to this day. And you know it as many times as when Daniel and I Shoot You and Nice Ones Cover Me and H-Day, your story was fucking badass because you went through a hurricane. And I
That
will,
is
and
pretty
every
fucking
time,
cool.
Yeah,
because when
that's pretty nice.
yeah, it's
That's
badass.
pretty-
And, you know, people talk about from coast to coast. I'm like, dude, that hurricane's intense because something could happen. Water could have went under him and flipped the car over, and it's done. And he could have
he
died.
could have died, lost cars, everything.
But he risked it because he wanted to come to a race.
He
Just
risked it for the
how
biscuit.
He risked it for the biscuit. But he was like, let's park together, because at that time they were doing if you paid your tickets first, you get to park in line
Wherever you
first,
want.
and
Okay.
then pretty much where the towers, not the tower, the time lights, we were then afterwards was whoever didn't pay, so people paid up gate. So we ended up parking next to each other, and we became close friends. And, you know, he was like, "You can sleep in the car too with me." Reclined that seat. That fucking Friday night, I was slumped.
Dead
But
body.
You were a dead body.
Dead body.
I was
Dead body
officially
because
the
You are
deadest.
famous for catching dead bodies
Right?
now, so you were. Is that how it started? Catching dead bodies.
Where did that start?
Catching dead body. No, I guess it was when, like, I would just be traveling with people. Like, I would just start catching people. Like, after after the H-Day trip, people were like asking me to drive their cars around, and then I would drive when we go to Vegas for Jessica's car, and then when we got the car,
So,
just catching people
In
asleep.
last episode, well, 2 episodes from here, or 3
Whatever.
episodes. In Aaron's episode, Think Fat, I volunteered you and I to drive.
Sure did.
So, to get him to World Cup, and I know you also drive for FCS, and, you know, Jason. Let's say Jason doesn't go for some reason. You agree that you down to go drive for Aaron?
Yeah, hell yeah.
And
Like,
we're
I know,
we're taking turns, me and you.
I would just drive the night shifts.
I got daytime. Let's do it. There you go.
I like
Aaron.
dead bodies,
That's for
alright?
you. We're gonna catch some dead bodies.
Yeah, like.
That's
what I
just wanna confirm.
I'll fly. I'll meet
just
y'all
wanna
there.
confirm that on air.
It just like just catching the dead bodies was fun because as I noticed, because I like the night cycles. Because when I drove to World Cup my first time in 2019, when I started with FCS, like I was catching Jason and Chris. Sorry guys. And it was just one of those funny things because they've caught me dead. Like at the recent for Redemption, I had my baklava up, I had my hat on with the glasses on, and I was just. Like, I drive the night shift, so me being a dead body, like that is, like, you gotta cut me some slack, but at the same time, like,
Still.
I was still a dead body.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
But, no, just, like, I knew once I got there, once I started, oh, yeah, I caught you dead
There's
body,
a dead
too.
body.
Don't worry. I didn't forget. Hey, don't,
Hey, you didn't think he was gonna get made? Both of them.
I got
Both of them.
everybody. I need you two. You guys are next on my list.
Ain't gonna happen.
Ain't gonna happen.
Uh-huh.
I don't sleep in cars.
Oh, that's why you want to fly out there. Don't worry. Don't take your shoes off in the bed. You bet your ass you're a dead body right there. Adrian, I'm sorry, buddy.
But for
Like
days.
once I was there, and I started I met my buddy Patrick and the boys from Canada. They drove their Turbo K CRX out there. You know, they just went all-wheel drive to themselves. You know, waiting on parts on us. But once I got
better
there,
get to work.
I know. What are you doing here?
Right? You better get to work.
I can't do that differently. That's an anodizing, right? I can't do that.
But
But
figure that shit out.
work.
You ain't got a manual for that?
But just when I started like meeting the people and everything like that, everybody was like, if anything happens, we'll help you out. Like, so for those that are thinking like East Coast guys are assholes, like they're all about themselves out there, you know, like as you've heard and all that. It's not true.
That's one thing. I mean, not to cut you off, but that was one thing that was on my list of things to ask. Is like, what's the East Coast love for the West Coast out there? Because as we know, as of today, you know, Steven Ali went out there to the West Coast, to the East
Good
Coast,
shit,
LSW, made it to the semifinals. Congratulations to you on that and your big trip out there. You know,
Fuck yeah.
kudos to you. What you know? What's the love out there? Because you know, there's a lot of mixed emotions about it. Because we do know there is drama here and there between certain companies and peoples and shit and that, but what's it really like out there? You know, were you greeted with open arms, or were the people hesitant, or I mean,
Well,
obviously it was open arms.
a lot of the people there like that heard about my story and saw the story was like, oh shit. Like I had a lot of people that came by. They're like, oh shit, you're the Cali kid. That was the nickname that I had out there. Was I'm the Cali kid, and it just stood by stuck with me even when I go out there. Even when I go out there for World Cup or anything, they're like, "What's up, Cali?" And I'm like, "What's up, guys?" Like, but the love over there, they were like, "If you need anything, let me know." Like the New Hampshire trip, fucking a deer came out in Colorado, and I saw it, and I was just thinking to myself, like, "Fuck, I'm gonna lose the car right now." But he went under, and he took out my wideband. And I was like, "Fuck, I can't get no reading."
Wait. You say in your Integra, you ran over a fucking deer?
Yeah. I have videos of it.
Like, blue.
Like, yeah, I came.
Or like just stop and
Speed
move.
bump?
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's a big ass fucking deer.
It was a
bro.
small one.
Little baby
it
doe?
was a little
Small
doe?
one,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Alright.
And I think that's my.
Cause I'm over here
It's a
thinking he
blue
ran over a full size and shit. I'm like,
This was
damn.
it. Hey, that's my.
Motherfucker driving fucking over
You're
12-point butt.
whipping over and get fucked up, but you owe to your wide band. That's it.
No, what was
Damn.
funny was
4x4.
no, because it
That
slipped.
Matrix wheel, dog?
It slipped when it saw, so it went down. So I didn't
Yeah.
catch
Oh,
it fully.
okay.
And that's why I think a deer is my spirit animal. Because even on the way back from the first World Cup, I went over a dead deer that I didn't see. So I was like, it was funny because we stopped at the New Mexico, Texas rest stop right there, the big fucking truck stop, and there's blood on the back of in the trailer, in between the truck and the trailer, and there was some on the side. And he's
shit.
like, Jason got out. He's like, "What the fuck did you hit?" And I was like, "Deer."
Shit.
I'm like, "It's nighttime, bro. I'm tired." And it was just
Oh,
funny because I was
fuck.
like, another deer. I was like, "This is destiny. This is my spirit animal."
Oh,
it was
shit.
somebody
That's
else.
amazing.
Like, man, we're about to get blood all over this brand new truck and everything. I was like, "My bad, Jason. I didn't see him. I maybe did. I probably doesn't now, but it was alright. But
His crazy ass bought the brand new truck to go to World Cup.
yeah, that was wild. It was a month before World Cup. He got it, and I was because the Silverado he had before. He was telling me going up the hill to the shop, like, that thing went into limp mode. I was like, "Don't you fucking think that I'm going to be driving this hunk of junk
Right.
the World Cup with that on limp mode. It's going to be the slowest drive ever."
Stuck at 35.
So you went there 3 times to Honda Day. And I hate to bring this up, but Luna is no longer with us, correct?
Yeah. It's,
Can you give us a little rundown on that for some people who don't know? I mean, I don't want to bring it up if it's a touchy subject, but it just kind of,
it is kind of a touchy subject just because of the fact today's the 6th of December, and I lost her last year on Friday the 13th. So 7 days from now, a week, I lost, the car that got me from coast to coast. My first car.
It all.
It started me as
this whole journey that you're on.
yeah, the adventure that everybody knew me as, as a Cali kid, Gutz Garage, that crazy guy, everything. Like, it sucked.
So were you in California when that happened?
Yeah,
or-
I was
or-
going to work. And
Oh, shit.
that same, it was, like I said, Friday the 13th, that same weekend, we were going to get ready to leave to Vegas for IFO.
Uh-huh.
And, Jason got me a Christmas gift, which was a brand new Simpson helmet.
Nice.
That he was like, "Use this for your next event," and luckily, thank God, I was like, "You know what? We're leaving tonight. They could take a head start. I'll go back to my storage and pick up my tranny and swap it over there at my boy's shop. I just swap it over there like I did before. Or, no, I changed out the clutch that other time, but I was like, I could swap it over there.
Mm-hmm.
So I was coming down on the 14th from Lancaster to work in Santa Clarita. And this truck was following like this small car, like a Scion. Like it kind of looked like the 2-seater one kind of thing. And he was just following him from Pearl Blossom Road all the way down. And it wasn't until we passed the exit of Red Rover Canyon on the 14 where the car merged over and the truck merged over with him. And the car, I think, was just like, "I'm fucking tired of you tailgating me." Brake checked them. The truck locked up its brakes. I was behind him. I had some good distance, but it was like a skirt. Like, the truck locked up, and I was like, "Oh shit, I need to get away from him." Like, I had to swerve out real quick because him stopping, me coming in, I was coming in. And I looked over to my right, and I could see a car next to me, and I looked to the left from the corner window. I was like, I don't see anybody. Make the executive call. I turned it to get around him, and as I turned, the rear end threw out when I was trying to correct. And so the rear went out, and I was sideways once, I was trying to hold it. I let it go, and I tried to compensate for it. Went too much again, and tried to recorrect it. If I had another lane, I probably would have saved it. Probably would have just like broken, the rear, like the trailing arm and maybe the rear subframe. I could have easily swapped that out, knowing that I could do it now. But it was a 3-lane road, so by the time I was already going sideways on that last correction, I was already going into the end of the left lane into the emergency. And what's on the 14 is the freeway right by Red Rover. It's offset, so it's like the emergency, and it has a little hump, and then it goes up a hill, like a little small hill, probably from here to the roof.
Yeah.
And the moment I saw that I was already coming into that emergency with no correction, no more room for correction, I knew, like, I instantly yelled out. I was like, Luna, no. And I hit it. I went over it, and I was in the dirt, and I was just thinking, please, 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 please. And there was a soft patch of dirt that just caught my tire, and I rolled over 2.5 times.
Fuck.
Oh, fuck.
And I landed upside down. I know they say not to lock up your body because, in case of anything, you want to break something. But, I was just, bracing because I knew I was going in for a roller coaster. But I just braced up, and I held my steering wheel. Shout out to Nardi, because you make real reliable steering wheels, because it didn't break.
Yeah,
it didn't break. And I rolled over, and I was upside down, and I was there. I unhooked the harness, and I fell. And I was like, fuck, dude. And, I crawled out from the window, and I was just looking at my car, and I was just I immediately, I fell apart, inside. I was everything that I've done, I worked for. I wanted to have this car for a long time to show more stories. I wanted to break more of my own personal records, and I lost it just like that. And I was just crying. People came by, and they were like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm fine, but I lost my I was more concerned about my car than I was about my own health. My shoulder was really fucked up. I had cuts fucking all over the side of my face and everything, and it was just that moment where I was just like, oh my god, I lost my fucking car. And what even hurt more was when they moved my car, they hooked it, and they dragged it across the lanes upside down. And it hurt my soul seeing it. And then they loaded it up into the fucking tow truck upside down.
I've been seeing them do that a lot lately. It's why do they do that? I think it's because they want to hurry up and get them out.
Yeah,
they don't want to spend the
guessing.
time fucking flipping them over and shit.
Because my buddy Lugo, he used to work tow truck driving earlier in his life, and he said when cars are upside down, they would flip it. It'd be easier than trying to, try
Well,
to
you're supposed to anyways, because once it's stuff on the truck, it can move on the roof.
Yeah,
Where on tires,
and
it's not going to move.
It was just
How do you fucking strap a car down when it's upside down?
Crush the roof.
it was just it just hurt. And what was crazy is the fact that I called the same phone. I just got it, the iPhone 11. I just got it, and the screen was broken. Everything, it has one ding from the accident, which is that thing right there. And the two ladies that saw what happened, they told the CHP officer this and that. There were witnesses on this and that. She was like, is there somebody that you need to call? And I was like, I need to call Jason, because Jason's right here. I can't call Freddie or Al or something. I was already on my way to work. They're not probably showing up for another hour or so. And Jason's like, where are you at? I'm going to come fucking get you. And they loaded up the car, and they took it, and Jason came pick me up in his Integra.
The fuck?
I had my boat, huh?
Can it go?
No. in his LS, his white one, and I was just standing there waiting for him. The CHP was there waiting for Jason to come get me, and I'm just there with a box with
Your shit in it.
the shit that I had in the car, which was my memorabilia stuff, and I was just there I even on the post that I posted up that same weekend, I felt just broken, lost, everything, it was just horrible. It's everything I had about my car was just right here, all my memorabilia stuff.
I kind of know some of the similar feeling when I totaled mine, because my car, for a lot of people who don't know, was originally one color. I spent a lot of time painting it. I took it all apart down the bare shell, painted the inside, the outside. That's why my inside of my car and everything's all one color. And then not even a year and a half later, I'm going to work. I'm taking my girlfriend at the time home, and I'm literally maybe how far would you say where I crashed in that intersection? Around the corner, probably about
I don't even know where you
100
crashed.
yards. In the intersection right before we hit El Dorado.
Oh, I knew you crashed.
The
I
one
didn't
that
know
goes
where.
around the corner.
Yeah.
Maybe 100 yards from my house. Not even that. Same street. I totaled my car out. 17-year-old girl was on her phone, ran the yield sign. I saw her, locked up the brakes, tried to stop, and she didn't, and boom, totaled my shit out. She was in a big SUV, just crashed, whatever. But I just remember, like, I literally cried that night because we had to push it all the way home because the cop was like, oh, I'm going to push you from the back, turn it around. I'm like, fuck you, you're going to ruin the backside of my car. Like, fuck you. So, I just pushed it home, and then luckily the neighbor's son just happened to get home at the same time, and he ran down the street, and he helped me push it into my driveway. But I remember literally just, like, pushing it into my garage that night and just fucking crying because it was like, bro, like, I put so much time and energy into this fucking car.
Yeah,
and, like,
because when
it's like, damn, you know what I mean?
yeah, because Jason,
I get it. I've been there before.
When we got to the shop, he was like, I have my extra phone that we listen to music when we're welding in the welding room. He was like, here, put your SIM card in it, try to get a hold of somebody. And I had my old phone when I just upgraded, and I put my SIM card in, the screen was cracked and everything, so I was just literally like, once I put it in and I charged it, everybody was hitting me up because Jason went live, and everybody, we were going live on the way back. He's like the man that survived 3 rolls. He pinned it, Superman alive, and he was like, you know, I was getting a hold of people. People were hitting me up on the live, like, oh shit, is he okay? This and that. People were already posting up like the car's upside. He's like, don't worry, Gutz is good. Like, I know he's gonna make a good comeback. And then like that same day, I went to the tow yard, and I fucking had to pay $800 to get my car out.
Dude.
Just a lesson learned for people. If you do crash your car and you do want it back, tell them to take it to your fucking house, to your job site, or wherever possible. Because I'm pretty sure you could have been like, take it to FCS.
No, we had a friend that is right by.
You can't
yeah.
organize that. Just let you know.
But the cop didn't want it. He's like, no, we got to get it out of the way. It's a hazard. So get
it out, but take it to the spot. Don't take it to a tow yard. I'll pay for the tow from point A to point B, but don't take it to the tow yard. You can legally say that.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but he was just on one of those. He was like, we need to get it out of the way. Like, we're gonna take it here. I was just pissed because I had Tony, my buddy Tony, that works with us too, drive me to where the accident happened, get my bumper, well, my back bumper, because it popped off, so I could get my plate, and everything. Went back to the tow yard, paid the money, and had our friend that has a tow truck to come get it because they wouldn't release it to me because I didn't have the title.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I was just in an accident, title somewhere, like, and they're like, well, you need that. So I released it to the guy who was gonna get it, and he dropped it off at the shop. And while we were waiting and all this and that, he didn't drop it off till
So wait, when you went back to the dealership, when you went back to the Toyota, was it upside down still, or was
no,
it
it was right side up. I have a picture of it. You can see it. It's just like,
yeah, it's on your Instagram. I
It's
remember
just-
you posting it. Yeah,
just looking at it, like I was like, I can't fix this time. Like, I knew, like, this was something I cannot fix.
yeah.
And we took it back, and then Jason's like, just leave it here, like, go home or something. And I looked at my other, I'm like, dude, what am I gonna go home to? Like, all I'm gonna do is feel miserable at home. And that same day, I was knocking out trailing arms and everything. And that same day, we, he loaned me the van to use. I figured, fucking, what else I was gonna do? And Jason, once again, thank you for that, man. I don't know how I would have established myself without your help, man.
All right, well, okay. So you keep saying FCS, Jason. For anybody that doesn't know, you do work for FCS Race. You work for Jason Parks. Okay. How did this happen? What got you into the door with Jason?
Yeah, because you go from Honda Day, and all of a sudden you go from Gutz Garage, which is your original name, to Gutz FCS.
Yeah.
And then what everybody kind of knows you as now. So, how'd you get on FCS?
Right? How
Well-
did this start?
Well, the way that started was I was on my way. I planned for New Hampshire H Day, and I already been to Maryland because they had the 2 events spring and fall at Maryland. They were hosting, and they opened up a summer H Day in New Hampshire. And I was thinking to myself, you know what? My vacation days restart in the beginning of the year at my old job. I was like, I won't go to Maryland. I've already been there. I'm gonna go somewhere farther. I'm gonna fucking shoot to go to New Hampshire. Farther, yeah.
Going across the ocean?
From coast to coast, from ass end to the mouth, all the way. And I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna break another one of my personal records and just say I did it. And sure as shit, everybody's like, you're fucking wild. And if you do this, and you know, at that time too, Jason was doing the sponsorship. So I was like, I missed out on it. I didn't get picked for it, which I was like, man, I'm out there more than these guys. But obviously, you know, business
it's cool.
perspective.
It's cool. I had the same reaction.
Obviously, you have to go faster than 12s to get sponsored.
You know, fuck this shit. Good thing he's got a jacket on.
But I was on my way out there, and I got out there, and he was like liking my pictures, my posts, and everything, and I was like, "Oh shit, man, FCS is following me now." Like I was like, "Yeah, like I'm doing it." Like
You're doing something big.
I was doing like an impact because
You wanna know what's sad? Jason likes our videos all the time and our posts. I said the same thing to him. I was like, "Oh, fuck FCS liked our shit."
he really did.
So hell yeah.
Off that shit.
and so like
when Saucepot, shout out Saucepot, when he liked ours and gave us a shout out on his, he kind of gave us like, it was like a soft shout out on his live. Hey, that's still dope, you know, that he recognizes us, you know. So I mean, hey, when you get something like that, that's something to be appreciated, because that means you are being recognized for something.
Yeah, like
you know
that, and that's probably the biggest. I think personally, it wasn't the fact that I went coast to coast again, and like New Hampshire was the farthest, but I think the biggest thing from like the biggest accomplishment of all that, as we were talking about earlier, wasn't racing at Maryland and everything. It was the fact of how many people I inspired on that trip, where they're like, you know what, there should be no fucking. I had people that be like, I should have no excuse why I live in New York or something to drive a couple hours, or you're driving across the country. You know, people were like hyping me that I'm motivating them, and that was like the biggest thing for me, was like I was motivating people I didn't even know to focus on the street build.
Well, that's like I said, like I remember when I went to DRN, like I talked about many times, you know, fucking I was spooked on like what to do, whatever, and then like I remember when I got there, and then I had seen the post or something about you being there. Someone else posted a picture of you being there. I thought, this motherfucker just drove all the way to the fucking East Coast. Now he's back here racing.
Bakersfield. It was at Bakersfield.
No, DRN in Fontana. Remember I was telling you about not the rain out one, the one after.
No, because the first event when I got back from H Day.
No, but it was that one that I seen. But I remember you also were posted about it or something. But I just remember seeing you post about it, and I'm like, oh, he's the one that traveled all the way across.
No, that was Baker's IFO, because I have the picture of me as my first ever official getting caught as a dead body at the track. I was slumped out. I was wearing my H Day 2018 shirt.
Oh, that's right. So I just remember going and thinking, damn, I'm over here scared to drive fucking 6 hours. This dude fucking drove fucking like X amount of days, you know, all the way East Coast. I'm like, it made me reframe my mindset on traveling and shit. Something that we need to transfer over here. You know what I'm saying?
Don't talk to me, motherfucker. I was the one that made you go to DRN. You fuck me.
Yeah,
you're like, hey,
but I'm like,
I want to go. I was like, let's go.
I'm like, hey, let's
go.
Let's go.
All right, fuck it, let's go.
Let's go down the Bakersfield. That's a long drive.
It is. Doesn't mean I ain't gonna go.
It's funny. You don't know how
I'm
many
here, right?
We're in Bakersfield.
I'm here, right?
You don't know how many people I get that
I
were
fucking
like,
hate driving.
You don't know how many people I get that were like, oh man, you gotta drive there, man. That's kind of far. And I looked at them like, and they're like, that's right. You're driving across the country. My bad.
Yeah.
But
solo too, not even with anybody.
Well, even New Hampshire, I went with somebody, but sorry, George, don't mean to bust your balls, but he wasn't gonna fit in my turkey seat. And on top of that, it was my car.
Right?
Like, I know how my car is. I had my buddy Nando drive me back from Vegas when I backfired on nitrous and it melted a plug, and I thought something was bad. It was gonna happen, but that was the only time I had somebody drive me back a couple hours in my own car. But that was funny because he was like, yeah, once we got to fucking Barstow, like, I was tired, like the car was seeing weird. I was like, you don't know my car. Let me get back in the seat real quick. And drove back home. But no, I was Jason started following me, and he was like, "That's what's up, man. Like, keep it up, everything." And then I got there, shout out to Softspot again because he gave me coverage because he was like all the way to Cali, and I swapped my transmission out
That's
there.
right. That's right.
From the LS to the B16, and was ready to rumble that same night. And sure enough, the event was over. I got to the semis and I got knocked out. And I swapped the transmission back over, everything loaded back up.
That's still pretty cool. Cross country, still making it to the semis.
Yeah,
That's still pretty cool.
That's dope.
and I was driving back, and I would go live to talk to people. People were like, yeah, this and that, good shit, this and that, something's better than nothing, And I was in Colorado, coming just over the big hill from Colorado. And he saw posted up, he's like, we need more. I think I still have the messages like that. He's like, we need more races like you out there fucking in the community and stuff. Like, when you get back.
What a dick. He would send you messages like that, but still wouldn't sponsor you.
He said to hit him up once I got into Cali, and I was thinking he's gonna sponsor me. Like, I need those wide forks, man. I'm tired of having the forks out when I gotta trot my tranny out.
That's the most pain in the ass thing is doing those fucking forks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why when he did that, I was like, hell yeah. That was smart.
And he got a hold of me, and we were just like, he was like, get a hold of me once you come into Cali. And I got back into Cali, and I was like, hey, I got back into Cali. I made it home safe. Like, what's going on? You want to talk to me? Like, I'd like to know, like, what's going on.
What's
And
the sponsorship?
that whole time I was thinking, I was like, just give me a fucking sticker and some forks, and I'll be happy. I don't need no trailing right now. I just want something to make my life a little easier. And
do you have forks yet?
Wait, I was asking, do you still have forks? Do you have forks yet?
What the fuck?
Jason, come on, bro.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
I understand you don't want to sponsor this guy, but at least give him some forks. Fuck.
I mean,
well, I
at
did make
least
I did make a set of forks for myself. They don't look the prettiest, but they work,
Hey.
Hey, no, that's
But
scary.
Hey.
but
Long
I
as
mean
you
that
got-
was as I was with him. But that's they're upstairs in my box full of parts and shit that I need to put on the car. Yeah. But he hit me up about getting a hold of him, and he was like, oh, he's like, I'm at a state right now, like, sorry, like, I wasn't expecting something to come up real quick. Come back on Wednesday, give me a call on Wednesday, make sure you call me so I could get reminded. I called him on Wednesday on my 10-minute break or lunch. Called him, he's like, yeah, this and that, that was good shit, like, this and that. Like, I guess it was like a informal, like, introducing himself towards me. And then he was like, dude, I wish we had like more people like you in the community that like have street cars that go out. Like, kind of reminded him of when he used to have his American flag Integra, like, and he would go to street races and all that. And it was funny because he threw out like asking about where I lived and what I worked and what I did, and he was like, oh man, if you lived closer to us, I'd offer you a job. And at that time, I was like, is he bluffing or he for real on that? So I ended up playing on the, like, seeing what's up. I was like, hey man, I'll relocate real quick. And he was like, no, and I still have.
That was right about the time he was posting about they needed some workers and shit. Yeah, I remember.
I don't remember that because at that time I wasn't following him. Like,
So see, I was following you.
Didn't even
My bad.
fancy. Didn't even follow the guy who fucking got a job.
and he was like, I was just like, I'll relocate. Like, if this is serious, because I knew like this was a door
Oh yeah.
that's gonna open once and
Oh,
probably
okay.
not open up again. And I always hear stories where people are like, if that opportunity comes, you gotta jump. Like, don't let that door close because you might never get it again.
Yeah.
And he was like, and I still have the message too on my old phone. I have a screenshot of it too. He's like, if you come work for me, I'll make you a bad motherfucker in the game. I'll teach you and I'll show you what you need to do. And I remember I was like, all right, hold on a minute. I put him on hold. I went to my boss and I told him.
I quit,
and I told
motherfucker.
him.
I'm out.
I was
Wait,
like,
where were you working at the time?
I
Just
was
real quick.
working at Best for Less Tires in Temecula.
Oh.
And
Oh yeah, bye.
Yeah,
I told him, I was like,
This is-
his name's Jeff, and my boy Jesse didn't know. No, he left, but I told him about it, and I told my boss Jeff, I was like, Jeff, I need to sit down with you for a minute. He's like, yeah, what's going on? I was like, I just got a job opportunity. to do something I really want to do, but
Can you offer me double? Because if not, I'm
I
out.
did pretty much. I was like, I'm getting offered a badass job. I'm willing to drop it all, and they're paying me good. And he knew it because I was pretty much the lead up there. You know, like I knew how to do everything. I could do it fucking lazy, and I could still do it done right.
Yeah.
Like perfect. And I was just like, don't give a fuck, you know. And he was like, what do you mean? Like, you know, like, I need you here. And I was like, I know, but the opportunity's here. You gotta, like, throw me a bone here. Like, I'm not trying to put you under the gun, but an opportunity's come unless I'm going to go somewhere with this or not. Like, I need to know now. And he's like, oh, I'll give you, like, a $2 raise. I was like, I need 5 at least. And he's like, I can't do that. And I'm like, then...
Gotta go.
Because he told me, like, when can you start? And I told him I could start on the 1st if it comes to it. And that's when I put him on hold. And I told him, I was like, then I'll put my week and a half notice in. And he's like, I need 2 weeks. I was like, hell no. I'm giving you a week and a half. Be great if I don't leave right now.
Right.
Because Jason was telling me that week up, because it was Wednesday. He's like, can you start the week coming up? And I was like, I need to give my boss, like, first of the month. And I told him. He's like, I can't do that. And then I told Jason, I was like, all right then, man. Like, I walked out of the office, and I told Jason, I was like, I'll start for you the first of the month. And he was like, all right, I'll see you here fucking 9:30 on the 1st. And I was like, done. And
So did you really
yeah, I ended up moving with
Holy
a
shit.
friend of mine in Lancaster, which I had like my tuner and all them live up there. Shout out to Freddie Tune and Al and all the guys. And pretty much, you know, she was like, yeah, you could come stay here with me to get yourself situated and everything like that. And on the first, I think it was the 1st of the month, that morning, I had everything already loaded up in my Integra,
Jesus
all my
Christ.
belongings. I was renting a room at that time, so I didn't have much belongings with me. And my buddy Nando lived 2 houses down, so I was managing to put the stuff I really didn't need right now with him.
Yeah.
And I loaded up everything I needed essential to live with, and I went to work. 9:30, showed up in Santa Clarita with my car still fully loaded.
9:30?
Yeah.
Damn, fucking banker hours over here.
No wonder why they're behind it.
Right?
Should we start at fucking 8?
5:30 in the morning, crack of dawn.
But it was funny because he was like, you have your car outside? I was like, yeah. He looked at it and he was like, dang, you still have your shit in here? And I was like, I just moved out. I'm about to go to my place and once I get off work. And he's like, that's what's fucking up. And he was like, this piece of shit got you out there? And I was like, hell yeah, dude. This piece of shit got me out there not once, but twice. And
That's funny shit.
that's how I ended up working for Jason. And, you know,
That's actually
it's-
pretty cool.
It's been...
That's dope. That's a dope ass story, bro.
It's been a lot of, you know, great nights, shitty days, and all that. But hey, I wouldn't change it for the world, man. And thank you for everything you done.
This fat little fucker.
This nigga with
This
his
nigga with
sandwich.
his sandwich.
Go make me a
Did
sandwich.
you get your buns yet?
They didn't have none, fool.
So, that's Mason, by the way.
Waste of time.
Yeah, really. How many tracks in total have you been to?
Ooh.
Since stars.
What tracks? Maryland. Well, let's start local. Fontana.
So you've been on all the California tracks.
Yeah. So.
Irwindale, Fontana.
Oh, well,
Bakersfield.
I didn't know about Reading, but Reading would be a good one.
I know you've been there. I've seen you there. So
So does that count? Just tracks I've stepped foot on? Or
yeah,
tracks I've
yeah.
brought the
No,
car?
because you technically have
You stage people.
you stage people there. You know, kind of, sort of. I mean, if they don't blow up.
He staged.
Well, no, because we.
Hey,
we
it don't matter, man. Mason was moving down the track on that last pass. Was like a 9.5. I knew
You
it.
were moving. I'll give it to you. You were moving.
And you see me
Moving that
how when
rock
they
right
get
out
out the
that
hole,
fucking
and I
block.
know. And I know when you see the car, when I see the car moving, I'm like, it's fucking moving. Like,
No, hey, he was moving on the track because even she was like screaming because in my video she's screaming, and we knew he was moving.
Well, we all thought he was fucking wrecking by the sparks.
Well, we thought something that went wrong with his brakes the way it
Well,
shot
yeah.
outside. So,
It's on your
but
seat.
yeah, so
if we're going down the list of tracks, I've been to Fontana, Bakersfield, Verona, San Diego when they do the street legal
Verona.
night at in San Diego. They had a little like
Oh,
test
that-
and tune night
oh, okay.
where
So-
they put like the
they block off the street.
yeah, no. It's in the parking lot.
Huck his rod out.
Oh, brought your rod out? Let's get that in the show.
This is the reason why that 9-5 pass happened. This is what happens when she sits on your dick wrong.
Yes! Yes!
All right.
But
It's racing and racing only, my friend. Real quick, because we're on the Verona. By time this one airs, this fool, Sean's episode.
we're technically cold now. Here you go.
Bruh.
Jesus Christ. Fucking sounds like a pop gun.
Hey, by time, but for real, by the time this episode airs, Sean's episode will have aired. Shout out Sean because the day after we shot his episode, he went down to Verona.
Shakedown passes and won.
Shakedown passes and won the whole event. Congratulations to you.
Yeah, good shit, bud.
You know, good job to you. Sorry we couldn't make it the next morning. We had things to do.
He ended up beating Jerry in the finals, right?
No, Baker. What was
no.
it? No. He raced against Big Head.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
With Team Federman.
Yeah,
Hey,
so-
shout out to him. Hey, good shit too, bud.
Yeah, so you were there, and you were actually there when we filmed with the fatties and stuff. So, that was a good episode. Good episodes and fun times. And sorry we couldn't make it. But congratulations to you. I do regret not going. I do regret. So, but shout out to him real quick on Verona.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, you've been to every track in California, you've been to Maryland, you've been to all these other ones.
I've been to
Arizona.
Arizona.
What is your favorite track you've been to? Whether it's one you've raced at, been to, doesn't matter. And it's not even the event, just the track alone. What's your
I would
top track?
like honestly the obviously I shout out to Maryland International Raceway, but I cannot have topped any other track but Maryland just because of the fact, as I figured out and as I knew that Maryland was the Super Bowl of tracks.
Mhm.
Like I had a 1.8 60-foot on my first setup, which was I just had an LS Trans because I knew the LS would give me better mileage on my first H day. I was getting 1.8 on a stock open dip.
Damn.
Like I was like the track prep was sticky, like it was just beautiful. And
Oh, it's fucking
then when
Miller. It's Miller prep.
yeah, like
That's why.
it was just
That dude can fucking prep.
it was just like that track in general was just like beautiful. Like the shutdown was long enough for you to slow down. Like everything, even though I wasn't going that fast doing brackets, but even still, like it was just phenomenal. Like I fell in love with that track instantly. Like I know some of the home tracks are good. Like like even Reading was still, in my opinion, the first 8th mile was grippy. Even out the hole and everything was still good. But just
well, that's because that was Bodie primed.
yeah, but just
That's the difference.
That was big money. That was big money prep.
That's the
just-
difference.
but just in general, that track is just beautiful, and it was just man, dude.
Maybe two people sitting here would ever finish their damn cars. We could go
So-
check this out.
Anyways,
You guys, I tell you, I tell everybody in the West
hey,
Coast
my
that
car
are
will
like,
go make hits. We all know that it'll go make hits right now.
I didn't say that. But you ain't gonna go to World Cup
But-
with the way your car is.
No, World Cup.
it didn't even like. I'm kind of sad that I never got a chance to race at E-Town because I'm pretty sure E-Town
Dude,
was amazing.
I imagine that was fucking dope. I really was like, that was one of my goals too, is to race at E-Town because I've watched so many YouTube videos over the years of people racing at E-Town and
Same
just
thing.
putting
And
things-
it sucked
it's like,
because
man,
the
like-
first year I was meant to go to E-Town, but then that's when they sold
they
it. and
sold
everything.
it just out of nowhere, out of the blue, and just boom, just sold it.
And that was one of those
Yeah.
where I was like, fuck, if we would have went to the spring one, I could have been to E-Town.
yeah.
But it was just that
So-
track. Awesome.
Real quick, I don't know if you want to let us know or the viewers know, but you building another car? So, next question.
Yes. As a lot of people know, I have the wine integrator that Jason gave me, and
Yeah.
that one's gonna go. I wanted to go, I believe it was FIP or FIS, the one that doesn't have interior. I keep mixing those up, but I think at the pace that
You gotta remember, in California, those don't exist.
yeah.
Down here they do a little bit.
But I think like me wanting to do that, I want just that chassis to just like I was just like, you know what, fuck it, that's gonna be a full sport front wheel drive car.
Okay.
But I am
You gonna go extreme sport front wheel drive or just sport front wheel
sport
drive?
front wheel drive.
Okay.
That's just pretty much it. It seems like that's pretty much it. Because honestly, the payouts for the other classes are fucking pennies to a dollar. Like as much as it is, you know, I got to run down kind of seeing on it. Like there's some good cars that run in that class that run some low numbers. Like I've seen Juju Bill. They have an Integra 2, and that one was running
we
like
mentioned Juju
Ah,
Bill.
fuck,
nine-
scares
them
me.
before.
9.3, I think, or 9.2. Sorry, correct me if I'm wrong, but or 9.0 or one of those times. And the payouts are just kind of shitty. And especially like, as you guys know, I like to drive to tracks and everything like that. Even if I trailer, you know, I thought about it too because it's the same reason why certain cars don't bring certain cars out, or certain people don't bring certain cars out because the payout or
The payouts.
whatever is not worth it.
Yeah.
So
You spend more money than you would even if you want.
yeah, so
It also
if
seems like that's a big difference between West Coast and East Coast. East Coast payouts seem to be a whole lot bigger than West Coast is.
it's just one of those where I have my opinion on it, but obviously it could be something else. Like I'm not sure, but
Oh, I don't know
that
why.
car
I'm
is-
not.
Yeah, but
I'm
I
not a promoter or
am
whatever, I'm just saying
also
it seems to be
in.
that way.
I am also in the market to just get another Integra and just put something together onto it and probably do a 10.5 class. So that's in the mix. Maybe by Vegas, I might be coming home with it. Who knows? Hush, hush. Tiny Toe, you know it.
Okay.
Man, I'm lit in this shit more times than I've been smoking. And it's not a blunt,
So-
okay? It's a black and mild.
So, that's a blunt.
Yeah, that's a blunt.
Yeah, you shouldn't have said that. You fucked
No.
up. Don't
I'm
try.
not gonna be a dead body here. It was one time, or second time.
One time.
So, you know, we're sitting here at Mason's house, and you're a big helper of him. You help Ghost.
Everybody.
You help
Fuck.
the fatties. You know, what makes you want to get? I mean, I get it. You love the sport, but man, you are the epitome of going fucking hard. You know what I mean? Like, of just tracks. Like I remember, like after kicking it with you in Reading, you're like, bro, let's go to Arizona, and I would have went if I'd have to do some personal court stuff. You know, that stuff. You know, we'll talk about that later. But if I didn't have to do that, I would have went. But I will save myself. But I would have went. I wish I would have went. But then even the fatty said that it wouldn't have been worth it to go at that event. But you have been to a lot of tracks, and you're helping these dudes. For I mean, I know Masons didn't pay you shit besides burgers.
Yeah, he broke the cooler and I said it'd be really cooler.
Yeah, that.
I said, don't worry, the cooler's okay. It just has a couple dings, okay? I'll write that off on my taxes.
But what makes you keep going out and helping?
Right
these dudes?
between, even if you're at the track, you're not just racing. You're helping. You're doing both. You're there no matter what. What keeps you doing that? Because you're not getting paid by any of it.
What keeps me going? That's a really, like... I wouldn't say it's a really, like, vague question on it, but it's more like... as you said, like, I love this sport, no matter what. Like, it don't matter, like... It's funny because there's times where we have bad days with make it rain on me, please. Yeah, the race car's getting built tonight.
Hey, pass them over here.
Damn, that's like $800. Hold on.
Hey, shout out. That's sponsor
Hey,
Mason.
sponsor.
Sponsor.
Possession's 9/10 of the law, bro.
Hey, possession's 9/10 of the law, Daddy. We got this.
But
Shout out our sponsor, Mason.
Yeah, right?
Shout out
Sponsor us the
Southeast.
location.
He's throwing
Sponsor us out
money.
dinner. Then we got money.
like I said, I love this sport. Like Jason
You
has
ain't get that back either.
Jason has
Fuck your
had,
blood.
has had moments where like we
Reach
just
for the
we're-
hood.
Damn,
We're in
we're
the
in the hood.
I feel like we're back.
I guess the motivation side is that I'm passionate about the sport. I mean, I'm motivated to do it. I love it. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, ask Mason, ask Fat Kid and Sean, like, ask Jessica. Like, driving out there and just being a part. It ultimately falls down to like how the motivation of the sport is. It's just like I wanna be a part of something bigger than myself. So when it came to like driving Mason it was 8 hours from here, but the hour and a half from fucking or 2 hours from LA, from work, and then fucking shooting out here, like helping them out. Because don't get me wrong, like I used to run my own shows in my own car when I would travel places, by myself. No one's checking my air pressure. No one's checking when my safety stuff is on. Like I'm doing all that by myself. But to be able to help somebody out when they need it, or even if they don't need it, and it just helps open them up for less of a
less stress.
Yeah,
less,
and that
less
margin of error that they're doing a million things already. Because I know how it is. B series or K series. Somebody is K series. They gotta make sure the lockout's in. They're like they gotta make sure that they gotta make sure was fuel check, like this whole list. But that one thing could get forgotten. Like when we were getting license passes for Jerry, like he forgot fucking to put his gloves on. They were okay with it. He forgot to fucking put his neck collar on, all that. But I'm busy helping cinch him in, check his pressure, make sure the steering wheel's on it tight. Like if I'm able to relieve that stress just that little bit more, I'm all for it. Like when we were in the Derby, one of the guys I was there with, Ramey, he's from Vegas. He ran the Gray Coupe. I don't know. He's with Ramey's group, but he's from Vegas. I forgot his name. I'm sorry, man. We were going into the lanes, and I saw him. I looked at him. I was like, "You good?" And I remember seeing this. And I looked at it, and he did it twice, and I was like, "Oh shit!" He doesn't have his Hans isn't connected to his helmet. I stopped. I ran back over there, opened the door. What's wrong? My Hans. I need my Hans clipped in. He had the same style that Ed's is, which is like it looks like a mini seatbelt clip. Mm-hmm. You put it in and it clips down. And I was there, and then the other side I clipped them in. And he was like, "Fucking thank you, man." And then his guys came down. Don't get me wrong. Hey, your boys, I know they were probably busy doing something, and I understand that, okay? So I'm not bagging that they weren't there, but the moment when I know somebody needs that little help, like, and then afterwards he came by and he was like, "Dude, thank you for that," because I got so fucking scared, because if anything would have happened on that path, I know the boys would have been like, I wasn't there for that. Yeah. Like, we weren't there. And then even to this day, like, because my role with Ghost is, it doesn't matter if it's Ed Bergenholtz or Jason Parks driving that car. When they get in that car, I move everybody out the way. I drop what I'm doing, and I make sure that the seatbelt is adjusted for him so he could clip it in, and the Hans unit is on, and I check the steering wheel. That's my job, and ask Mason, I do the same thing too. I adjust his seatbelts.
Wait, you got safety, motherfucker?
He just grabbed dick.
Sean, the same thing like with Sean.
Yeah.
I know he can help him out too,
They got a really smooth program.
Really seen them. They have a real smooth program, and that's what we kind of talked about in Aaron's episode. And how their program runs, and it runs really good and smooth, and it shows because of how successful they are. And I think that's a good thing. I wish my team would step it up.
I just don't want it to the end of the day. Give my damn lighter.
Oh yeah, get that lighter.
Hey, give my lighter back, dude.
Get that back to the show. You can use that one for now.
That's fine. But if it just makes,
I knew you were my friend.
I held look at us.
I knew you were my friend. It's one day they'll come out.
It's just those moments where, like, even if it helps somebody else out, fuck. I get it if there's one person that does that stuff, but if they're like busy doing something else, like if they have two roles, if it helps them just to be doing one major role and then somebody else could do that, and like I said, I do that for Ed and Jason. I've also done it for Robert Romero, Robert Hush, Sin City Dragstar, Hush Performance,
I'm really jealous because you're on all these fucking big names, these fast ass race cars.
I'm still Little Fish, man. That's the biggest thing I know. Is no matter what, as much as
it's crazy because you're a little fish, we're a little fish, but in the end you're really not, because a lot of people know who you are, and going around the track, and like even today we're at Bakersfield, fucking you're on the back of the trailer with Poito's car, and you're fucking waving at some people in a Corvette and shit, and you're waving people, and I'm like, looking at Jessica, she goes, he knows too many fucking people. And I was like, he knows way too many damn people.
Well, it falls upon like the fact that I love racing. Like it's a passion. It's just something that like, I was saying this earlier, and I kind of got sidetracked here. Jason would say when we have an issue or something, or we're doing a super late night, and he's like, "Hey, so do you still like racing?" And every fucking time I say, "Hell, fucking yeah, I do," because I love it. I love it. It's my adrenaline rush. Like you can see on some of the videos, like from Soft Spot or fucking I Shoot You, you know, Miz. And you just see me just fucking hyping it. Even the video from when we were in Vegas and we were running against that blue EM1 that I was telling you guys about.
Yeah.
Fucking that there was a burn down and you just see me back there and I just fucking was from that accident. Rolling Luna over. And I was like, let's go, we got a fucking burn down here. I'm moving around like fucking like I'm ignoring my pain and fucking Jason just fucking giving it. And, you know, fucking getting it all the way to the finals, you know, like, I'm still under the car, hurting, like, I could feel, like, my muscles and everything are just saying, I can't move like that, and I'm like, we need to get shit done, suck it up, and I'm doing it, like, the sport, everything about it, like, just fucking love it, like, it don't matter, one time, I think it was at that same DRN, my boy broke his axles, both his axles. Surprisingly, the train survived. I don't know how the fuck that happened. God's grace. And I'm there, and he was like, I can't race anymore. Because my boy came by, he's like, hey, you got axles? And I was like, yeah, why? He's like, my nephew. I was like, let's go. I grabbed the axles, I ran over there, and I was like, what's going on? He's like, I broke my axles, I can't race. I'm like, fuck no, you're gonna still fucking go race. Let's go. Fucking 15 minutes, change both his axles out. And it wasn't even tools that he had. I had to like fucking jerry rig fucking tools, put a fucking screwdriver in one to fucking time. Like, it didn't matter.
Yes.
I want shit to happen. Because I know the capability of what this is gonna go to. Like that little bit more is gonna help you out. Is it something that I'm trying to like get out there and all that shit? No, I don't fucking care, dude. I could be a nobody. I could be.
You're not doing this to get something back. You're doing this because you love it.
I'm not, and the same thing comes with other people when they see my dedication towards it. They're like, dude, like.
Well, it's like me. Like I don't know if you still remember the post I made about you and who was the other? Oh, Rob.
Yeah,
and,
with the Trap House.
Like I didn't even know. Like I knew who you were, but I didn't know you. Like we weren't hanging out like now.
Yeah, and I saw that tag and I was like, oh shit, you got footage of me. I was like, oh shit, 'cause it doesn't matter. Like I was there lining up Jerry, and that was the first time I've actually went on a program with Jerry. And trust, like I know if Jerry would have went there by himself, I'm not saying it would have been a shit show, but it just would have been really hard because he would have driven.
We were gonna lead into that. I was one of the
questions talking about that.
How'd you get linked up with Jerry Bill? Because Jerry Bill is a fucking legend.
Right. You know, he's a California OG.
He's someone that I grew up, you know, in this sport, watching his videos. Shit. I mean, a lot of people do. You know, growing up, he was the first that I ever seen with that built after their name. I mean, many motherfuckers have stolen that style name, but we all know Jerry Built was the first one with Jerry Built. You know what I mean? Like, how'd you get hooked up with him?
Well, it was funny because.
And another question: can you get him on the show?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I think I was on the phone with you.
He's a little fish.
Yeah, little fish.
Right. I got Jerry on lock, but a little fish.
But I was on the phone with you saying he wants to get on the show. Then.
Yeah, no, but I want to let them know that you can get it on. But he's the one that get him on.
What's funny is I've seen Jerry out at the track before. You know, like he didn't really know me, and I kind of knew about him.
A little fish.
Yeah. And sure as shit, he got a car from us that we needed it to get sanded down prime, which is a all-wheel drive car that we're building for a friend. And I met him there, and I also met another friend of ours named David that rolled with him. And that was the first time I met him. I was like, hey, how's it going, this and that, you know, like, we shot the shit. He's like, oh, I know you. I've seen you around. I'm like, yeah. And so, as it progressed, as I started hanging out with more of the people from LA, and then with Jessica, you know, like, I would go by with Jerry because Jerry and Jessica knew each other from back in the day too, and I would just kind of shoot the shit. I was like, man, dude, like, if you ever need help, let me know. He's like, pull through. And from there, I think it was like 6 months ago, I think, give or take, I came by one day after work, and he was like, oh, what's up, baller? He always calls me baller. I fucking, hey man, fucking.
I don't know. He just
Spread
threw a
some
couple
change,
$1,000
man.
at you.
I know.
Mason is
will
still a
ball
couple
over
racks
here.
at us. You know what I'm saying? That's
He's
what
all,
I'm
he's all,
on.
shh, right there, man. That's our money. But he was like, "What's up?" And I was like, "I'm here to help you out. I'm here to want to work for you too." And he's like, "All right." And then sure shit, you know, I help him, you know, do a lot of the, you know, local customer builds, you know, like turbo kits, fucking a little bit of.
So he's still pretty
fabrication.
active then.
Yeah, he's still active, even with.
Has he ever stopped though? Really?
No.
Yeah, I don't think he's really has.
No,
No.
but I know over the couple years you don't hear
You
Jerry
kinda
build. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But he's still.
Because for a
that's-
while he wasn't really racing too. I don't think.
Well,
I
he
think
just had.
I think
He just had to relicense.
He just
yeah.
realized,
So I think,
but
I think,
before
I think
that,
he was doing a lot of customer builds. And he
yeah,
was doing
well,
brands
he
for
had
it, right?
his what
Sorry,
was
Jerry,
it?
if I
He
got
had
this wrong. I don't know the story, but if you know,
yeah, the
social
same thing. Correct me if
Listen,
I'm wrong, Jerry.
correct me if I'm wrong.
He had some issues in Bakersfield where he blew up 2 motors, and then he kind of went a little under the radar, kind of like situate everything.
Yeah.
And he was just focusing pretty much like on the race car, trying to get everything situated, and then as well as working on customer cars, because you know I'm there at night, so I work. Once I get off work, I drive down to his house and work with him there, and I work till like
You
midnight.
see, real quick, a lot of these motherfuckers that be complaining about, oh, I worked 8-hour shift and I don't have time for this, I don't have
Here
time
we
for that. Man, look at what this dude does. You just heard he works a full time at FCS and then he drives after that and goes works at Jerryville for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like,
And then travels all over the world.
and then
fucking
travels
racing.
over the fucking world racing with all these teams. You know what I mean? Like, you can do it. It's possible. Stop being a little bitch and fucking get out there and do it.
I
I
never
don't want to hear no because I hear a lot of people complain like, "Oh, why didn't you get the card?" And oh, it's because I had to work. Okay, you worked, but you only worked like 8-hour shifts. You know what I
8-hour
mean?
shifts,
Or
24
Well,
hours.
I get
You
no,
know what
I
I
get
mean?
it. I get it.
You got- you got-
some people like you know. I
I
get.
think they don't
how-
have the motivation and the drive and the passion. I think that's what it lacks.
I don't personally like to say it like that, just because like I know there's days
He's too
where
nice of a guy.
I
There's days you don't. I mean, I'm not saying you do it every day.
yeah,
but
well,
I, mean,
I
we're all
like because
humans.
there's times where like the car at the shop, like I look at them, I could do a little bit more, but at the same time, like I can't. There's only things you could do so much till you hit a standpoint where you have to regroup and figure things out to move on to the next step. But like that's when it came down to like where it goes back because I could relate a lot of my H day like stories and like you know information and knowledge from it is just the fact that it's the motivation and drive that got me to where I am. So when people are like, "Oh, you work for FCS now, you're getting things handed out," I'm like, "Fuck no, dude! You know how many late nights
You know
that
how
I was
che-
up?"
You know how cheap Jason is? He ain't giving that shit away for free.
I mean, as you heard earlier in the episode, he doesn't got no trailer arms. He had to make his own fucking forks.
Hey, well, hold on, the race car got trailing arms and a K member on it. All right,
Okay, never mind.
the car's
We're
but the
trying-
car's there. Please just turn. I just want to close my eyes, click my ankles 3 times, and just done. Shit don't work like that. Alice in Wonderland, you like me. Wrong one. What was it? The Wizard of Oz. There we
Wizard
go.
of Oz.
But no, like
You shit the bed on that one.
yeah, I did. Fucking. But it's just like as like I get it. There's times where people need to tell you that like, dude, you need to just fucking get the driving motivation. Like there's times where I feel like that. Don't get me wrong. Like there's times where like I wanted like I had issues with my car and I was just like I'm just like fucking over it. But then in the back of my mind too, I'm gonna raise no bitch first off, and then secondly it's like if you don't get this shit done, like what has everything you pushed for? Like at the end of it, that's when it goes back to like when I was trying to sleep in the car and I couldn't sleep, and I was like, everything you're trying to work for this, you're gonna throw it away because you're tired or you're exhausted or you don't have time. Like there's time. There's a saying, you got to make that 25th hour, no matter what, because there's been times where I'm pushing through the night. We were out. I was doing circuit racing at fucking Streets of Willow, and then the next day was I think an IFO or DRN or something, and I was like, and I broke the lower ball joint, and I was like, fuck, still want to go racing tomorrow. I drove back to the shop, changed both the lower ball joints, changed the axles, everything, checked everything good. Didn't sleep. It was like fucking 4:30 in the morning at the shop, and I'm locking up and everything, and I'm driving straight to fucking Fontana. And I was like, you gotta make that extra hour. Big saying in the Marine Corps is pain is temporary, but glory is forever. And that's how I always saw it. Like, no matter what, like when I blew the
pain is temporary, bro.
Yeah, pain is always temporary. Glory is forever, though. Because when I was at the last H day in 2019 in Maryland, I checked the rod out. Oh, I didn't check a rod out. I dropped the valve, and mortar was done. But I brought a spare mortar that time. So people were like, "You brought a fucking spare mortar?" It was right next to me.
Small fish, and this motherfucker got 2 motors.
It was
We
my
didn't
day.
talk about that on the way down.
Right?
Like, should we bring another motor? Should I build another one just to have a spare?
But
That's
it
small
was
fish.
it was a spare. It was just a LSV that I had, and then my buddy Lugo. He gave me a spare GSR head that was like
Hey, Mason, do
sitting.
you have spare LSVs laying around? Because I don't.
He gave me a
My bad. Yes,
he gave me a GSR head that was sitting in his like garage for like 5 years, and he was like, "It's good, you know." And I was like, "Fuck no, it's not." Fuck, I took it to Albert, my SB machine shop. Fucking, he's like, "Yeah, it has 2 bent valves, and you can see a gold ring around it where it's either forced induction or nitrous." I called him, "Nigga, this shit be real." Like, no, I was like, "Man, nigga,
You lie.
the Carfax, you can't lie on
Carfax.
I call Carfox.
and sure enough, again, like I put that. It was a B20V that I swapped over the night before, downloaded it the night of that I left for the last H day, and then I pushed all the way through to fucking, 4 or 5. Oh no, I think I went 36 hours without sleeping, or how many hours, because I didn't stop because when I got off the dyno, I went home and I packed and everything. It was already 2 in the morning, which I should have left at 12. So I pushed through the night and went through the morning until the next sleep cycle, which I fell asleep at 12 but woke up at 4 and then repeated a cycle for it. But it's just, you just need that drive. Like, if you don't have an example to think about it, just really think how certain people got to their point. Like, Sean, Aaron, fucking Chris, all these guys.
I get it because, I mean, even before, like, the last event that I raced at, my car needed a synchros and second and from first and second to third and fourth, and I had a lot of work to do to the car. I literally didn't sleep for 3 days because I was working, 16-hour days because we were at busy time in my work, 16-hour days, working crazy ass hours, and the next thing you know, going home, working on the car, pulling trans out, staying up till 2 in the morning, and then getting a little bit of sleep, going to work, doing the same thing back and forth until I made it till finally it was done like Friday night, and I was like, it was like midnight and I'm done. Saturday I had the day off, and I'm like, cool. So then I fucking finally got some sleep, go to fucking drive the car home from my dad's house to my house, and had a coolant leak. Car's never leaked coolant in the fucking 10 years I've owned it, and all of a sudden it starts leaking coolant. I'm like, what the fuck? Stressed out over it, ended up getting it fixed, and washing it, getting everything dialed in, suspension, everything, and was able to make it. But shut up.
Oh no, I was just saying, you always stress every night before race.
No, but you
always.
I thought you were gonna go with the bleeding clutch thing.
Oh no,
I thought you were
no.
gonna shoot that
no,
way,
no,
but
no.
no.
I would say you always stress. Doesn't matter what it is. Give me the littlest.
But still, like,
every
because
fucking time.
because I want race day to go perfect.
Well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want.
But that's the thing. Race day never goes perfect.
Nope.
No, that's
matter
true.
what.
That's true. But I want to prevent. I don't want to be one of those guys who fucking they wait till last minute, swap the transmission, they go in there and they have shitty.
Builds the
problems.
motor the night before,
Build
blows
the
it
night-
up at the race.
Well, bear in mind my.
But do you get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I understand that drive to go night and day, because even Mason understands that drive to go night and day and to do all this work, and then, sometimes you forget a thing at that time and you blow a motor, and that's what I don't want to happen.
But
if it happens,
you-
it happens.
but
But
it
you have
comes
to
to
drive,
it.
push yourself.
Yeah,
and those when I work those 16-hour shifts and then get off and go home, I don't even get out of my work clothes. I just go home, I eat real quick, and go straight. I was going to my dad's house because that's where the car was. It wasn't at my house at the time, so I go over there and then grab all my tools from my house, go over there and work. Call my coworker, shout out my buddy Nick for helping me, the last event and stuff, grinding out and getting shit done. And I'm tired as fuck. Been up since fucking 3:30. It's now 1 o'clock the next morning, coming up on 24 hours, but I'm still out there grinding, and I understand that push, that drive. You have to tell yourself, hey, just get it done.
Yeah, because
Fuck pain, fuck cold, just get it done.
If that shit's not done, when you miss that event or something, you just think like, fuck, man, if I would have put... You start getting that guilt to yourself where you're like, fuck, I should have pushed a little bit harder to do this or that, and I could have been out here. Or, like, no offense to, like, certain competition at certain races where it's, like, low, and you're like, I could have beat that car. I could have beat that car. You hear that all the time.
Many times,
That's
bro.
how it was
Many
the week
times.
before this last event, though. I mean, he was, I'm never going to get the motor done. I'm never going to get the car done. We're not going. Fuck this. And then all of a sudden, he was like, all right, I'm going to go home. I'm going to do this. 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 And we're going to go. And then it was like the night before, he was like, I don't know. Fuck it. And then his buddy came and they knocked all that shit out.
That was Friday night.
Yeah.
Friday night we got it knocked out, and then Saturday was, because the event was Sunday, but
Yeah.
Saturday I actually had time to do it. But then I hit this floor up when the coolant started leaking. I'm like, bro, like, I don't know. Like, it's never leaked. And it was because H problems. Yes, fuck y'all. H problems. It was leaking from the back water pipe. And I'm like, man, so like, my dumb ass, I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I don't want to go buy a new gasket, and I don't have another one, another O-ring, whatever.
Yeah,
so I'm like,
I know about that O-ring.
So I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to put some sealant on there, stick that bitch back on there. So I did that, but I rushed too soon and let it dry, and I put water in. It started leaking again, so I'm like, screw it. So I went to AutoZone, almost had to fight that little kid at AutoZone, because, man, they don't sell O-rings by
They don't
themselves.
have that.
Bullshit, your website says you do. And then I'm like, yeah, I got this whole argument, dude. I was going to, you know, if you're 18 years old and you work at a parts store, man, yeah,
Don't tell everyone that they're wrong.
Don't tell them that they're wrong and they're dumb, because some of us know a lot more about cars than you do. Yeah. But you know, I went to Global right down the street, which I should have went to first. A little Chinese lady. I go,
Best auto parts store in Stockton.
I was like, I need the O-ring for a Prelude motor. I was like, the one that goes from the thermostat to a water pump. She goes, oh, you mean this one? $2.
Yeah.
I was like, son of a bitch, I should have came here first. But no, I get it. You know, you got to push through. You know, and turn. You got, like, I call it just turn it up a notch, because when I get to those modes, it's like I just like, okay, look, turn it up. Don't care about sleep, food,
the
eating, whatever.
second wind.
Just that second wind. Just turn it up and just grind hard, and just make it.
Yeah,
get it done.
That's
You know
how
what
it
I mean?
was. Like, it's just there's moments like that, like when we took Mason out to Reading, and you know, like when we go to the track, and Jessica could vouch too. There's been times where I just, and Jason and a lot of the guys know, there's those moments where I don't sleep because I want to get this shit done, because I know the sooner we get this shit done and we get it done right, then we could rest. But I catch that second win, that third win. Even Jerry knows, because when we were working on his car for SAC, I was like, let's get this shit done. Let's get this run. Let's load it up. Everybody's tired, and I'm just like, all right, let's go. And then, you know, I'm driving, and then they're like, are you sure? And I'm like, fuck yeah, I just caught my win. You know, a couple rest stops, a couple pee stops, and everything. Yep. Like, I'm ready to do this. Because
Told you, pee stops work.
Well, sometimes they're good too when you hold it to keep you awake, but then there's
Not when
times
there's
where
cops behind you.
But then there's times where you're just like, you need a. There was when we were coming back from fucking Arizona, I was like driving. I was like, I can hold it for like another hour, and then my bladder's like, you got 30 seconds. And I'm like, on the side of the road, I'm running out. I'm like, oh god, yes.
So,
and then I get back in, and I'm like, let's do this.
Did we tell you that 2 weekends ago when we were going down to film the Fats? What happened to us?
No.
Jeez.
It's like we left town 5, 6 o'clock. And it's, you know, it's late. It's like 11. We're getting LA. Coming through, and I wasn't over the road, but I'm just like, I got a piece of fucking.
I thought he was falling asleep.
My mind is on just peeing.
I literally
and
turned to him.
holding it
I was like,
in.
bro, you want me to take over? I was like, you don't look too good. You all right? He was like, I just gotta pee. I'm like, all right, so pull over and pee.
So
this motherfucker pulled over and peed.
So we see a cop, right? And we were passing a cop as like we're having this conversation. Oh shit, cop! So I like let off the gas, whatever, right? And whatever. So I get off at the next exit, boom, and then I'm like, get out, and all of a sudden, you know, we're always riding dirty, you know, you do the whole thing, you know, these things and whatever, right? And I'm like, shit, there's a fucking cop. He's coming off. And
He pulls off right behind
right
me.
after this, and I hopped out the car, and I instantly was like, oh, the tire's bad. I started kicking the back tire, and I'm like, the whole time, I'm like, gotta go pee, look at that back tire. I'm like looking under the car like something was wrong, and the fucking cop passed us.
He just kept on going.
He fucking kept going. I ran to this little embankment to the piss. I was like, oh my god, this is the best piss ever, dude. I know that feeling. And I get back in the car, we start driving, he goes, you good? I was like, bro, I told you.
Second win.
No, I just gotta go pee. Second win, we're good. So I know.
Yeah.
That's why I said, you know, I think we'll be good drivers together, bro. I'm telling you.
I know, man.
So if you guys need drivers,
They're for hire.
we're for hire, bro.
Yeah, for hire.
We're for hire.
All right, stop. Break. Pee. I gotta pee.
I'm leaving that in.
Right? Leave that.
All right. back from a pee break.
It was very urgent. I'm not cold. It's just, I had to
Dude,
go.
I held out. You're cold. You're sitting like this. I was like, that's the fucking cold.
It didn't help with the fact that you threw up about the bathroom break. I was like,
Yeah,
son
sorry.
of a.
Sorry about that.
No, gotta be.
He's going to start pouring out some water.
Real quick, because we've been filming for a long time. I see we've been talking about tracks.
Mm-hmm.
You doing your street? You down to get down on the street?
I want to I think there was only one time I've
She's
been.
trying to get down on the street.
There's actually been twice I've been on the street. It was my buddy that called that he was in his S2K and he wanted to race me on the street, but he knew I had clutch issues and he could agree. Fucking. Oh my god, I forgot his name, but it was back when they were in Bloomington. I think they're still in Bloomington, and he wanted to race me because he knew my car moved and it was faster than my other boys in Tegra, and he had an LSV when I still had a GSR. And he knew I had issues, and I still raced him on the street. And it was funny because we got back to our buddy's house. Afterwards, the cops came flying down the street because they knew we were racing. Cause we did like 3 passes on the street and all that. And he was like, I know I beat you, but I know you would have had me if you weren't having clutch issues. And I was like, put your ass in there. And then another time was the first time ever was with my old crew, the Ruins. CRX Frank, I don't know if you know him. He's down in like Riverside area in the IE. He does a lot. He does tuning and chipping and all that. He's
talking about
huh?
Covina?
No. He's in the IE. He's in San Bernardino area, and I only been on it twice. And I see the streets. Trust me, when I see Mason out and my boys in Vegas, even my boys wanted me to go street racing with them, make a pass with my car at the street on the way to New Hampshire, and I was like, all right, fuck it, we'll do it. And I logged into my car, and all of them were like, no, we need you to get out there first. And I was like, all right, I love you guys. But I've been wanting to.
So long story short, you're down to do some fucking street.
I want to do hood rat shit with my hood rat friends.
So if you get arrested for street racing, your boss is gonna let you.
Jason's
stay in
gonna
jail
laugh.
for a day or
Jason's
two?
gonna laugh and be like, your dumbass got caught.
Yeah. All right. Cool. I got nothing because we posted about it earlier, and if you haven't been in the pits with this guy or around this guy, there's one thing this motherfucker loves to do when he gets to the pit, which, setting this episode up, first thing he said is, you know what we're doing? He said, we're setting up
propane.
Yeah, please don't drop that.
Propane won't
He
move.
said, we're setting up the barbecue pit. We're going to barbecue at Mason. Let's call Mason. Let's barbecue. Is it true? And now, recently we've had some call-outs.
I got a call-out tonight.
We got call-outs tonight, but is it true that you are the track grilling master?
You are the king.
Yes, I do.
After reading your breakfast, bruh, I'm
Right,
not gonna
hey.
lie, that shit was fire, bruh.
I was almost slumped after that, but
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
That was a
Jason bashes on me
Holy
with
shit,
it
look who
because
got fucking buns.
he got hot dog buns.
He got hot dog buns.
Jason
4 hours
Jason
later.
bashes me
But
on
he ain't
my
got no
grilling
donuts.
skills because Jason's like
Jason
a,
cooks.
Jason's
That
a-
motherfucker
yeah, he's
gets
a cook.
down.
he's a grill. He's a good god. I give him that.
Yeah, that dude gets down.
But hey man, all right, this is my call out to you. If you could cook what you could cook on a 6-inch Weber grill, like how I can, feeding 30 people on that motherfucker,
hey, you got down.
you
today.
cannot at me. All right, little grill. Where's the Weber grill?
It's
Go
over
bust
there.
that out. It's a
Fire
fucking
pit.
fire pit right now. I could cook fucking hamburgers, hot dogs, fucking
Full
breakfast.
continental
You
breakfast.
did a full continental burger. You cooked sausage, chorizo, and eggs. You did
On that little grill, we
yeah, bagels with all kinds of shit, bro.
Just don't give him a griddle. He'll break.
Yeah, don't fuck with the grill.
No, I have a like a electric stovetop one.
Yeah.
I haven't broke that one, but you bet your ass I can make some bomb ass French toast on that motherfucker. And I get it going. But no, I just that's one of the perks with since I haven't been racing in almost a year, like personally with my own car, is it comes to what you were saying on top is being track support.
Yeah.
I love doing that shit. If I could help somebody out, make the program run smoother and feeding them, because you'd be surprised how many people when they get food and they don't have to run and pay fucking $30 for three plates.
We've
Well, you know how many people don't eat at the track either because they're just so focused on doing
that
everything
was,
else.
That was us at DRN too. Remember, like it was like when we were going to DRN.
Are we gonna cook? What are we
It
gonna
was
do?
just me and him, and I'm like, bro, like we're not really gonna have time to fucking set up a grill.
No.
And so
They were like, we want to cook before and just leave the food out and then eat it later.
It
Or
was
what?
like, nah, fuck that. I was like, you know what?
Even-
I'll just buy his food.
Even when I was racing still, like even in Maryland and even at the home tracks of Montana, all them, I still brought my little small Walmart grill and I was still cooking my own food, like burgers and hot dogs, ketchup, mozzarella, fucking condiments, everything. I was still doing that because it did not stop me. Because me being cheap, as much as I don't like to say it from time to time, when it comes to it, I'm not
You
gonna
have
go
been
to
working with Jason.
huh?
You have been working with Jason.
I'm not gonna go to the fucking food place and pay $8 for a hamburger.
We figured that out at DRN. We were like, we should have cooked.
$15 for a burger.
No
some
fries, no drink, no nothing.
and
It was just
and
a burger.
soda, bro. It was $15. Yo, shout out the homie Ruben. I'm sorry you had to pay for that on your own. I owe you a burger. And this guy, because I was actually running, I was racing, and then they went to go order food, and I went to the pits after the car. Remember after the race?
Yeah. So what? He bought the food?
No, I owe him a burger because he had to buy his own food. He was my host,
I was
and
like,
I owe you too. So
No, I was just like, what?
I was saying, I owe
That's
you.
why just the
It's good.
the
It's good.
small luxuries make things
it
better.
makes
yeah.
a difference. Real quick,
real quick.
Real quick.
what's your goals with your new car? Do you got a time? You got a number? I
I
understand
wanna
what
fuck
class you want.
everybody up. Nah.
What's up, Mason? Got a call out?
Go, Mason. Let's go. Hey, run it right now. Hey, I'm on the same boat as you. Who can push the car
I
faster?
say, who can push the car
Hey,
faster?
my car is cut up right now. I think I might win you.
Hey, shout out Powerline. They'll come push you guys.
Hey, shout out.
But the sport car, the way that it with the setup that I want for that one, 84 mil, everything. I want to see 8s on that one, but honestly, the goal, and at Fila,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
you come holla at
This
me.
is his
Aaron.
goal. His goal is to get
9
sponsored.
in Fila's. Aaron, I'm sorry, but I gotta make that 9-second pass in my Fila's, and I'll wear the Simpsons and then the fuck around and find out ones when I'm lining up and all that. But with the second chance that I'm thinking of doing is 9.5 all day. So when I go to the East Coast and compete into the 9.5 index, that's the goal.
So you want to race index, not all motor, not turbo, not any of that.
Well, like I said, the other chest, the one at the shop, ultimately that's gonna be a sport Formula 1 drive car. At the end of the day, no matter what, it's going to be, like I said earlier, the payouts and everything. Like
Yeah.
I want something to be worth it, and then at the same time, I want to race a lot of my friends that I've helped out.
Yeah.
Because my time in bracket. That means you
Fucking Mason.
Because
Mason just twitched at him and looked at him in a funky way, just to let you know.
Because on all
He's
the
over
time.
there eating fucking 4-hour-old hot dogs.
Use the onion. All the times that I've raced in brackets and helped people out and everything, like especially some of the fast guys, Aaron, Mike, both of them have Integras that run 8s. Jason.
That's right. You're
all
going for Integras. So we were talking about this earlier, watching the OSWs and stuff. You're going for Integras.
What
make
is-
Integras great.
I was like, I was just about to say, what's your new hashtag?
Make
No, the
Integras-
hashtag has been around since I believe I started it on the second H day, and it's making Integras great again. And as some of you do or do not know, I don't know if I can pull it out. I don't know if you can see it.
flip it the other way.
Other way.
The other way.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
I have an Acura logo, and it's in red too.
For any of y'all that reshare this video or repost this video or like and tag it, whatever, make sure you hashtag Making Tigers Great Again.
Make-
And also tag Acura. Yo man.
And Fila.
And Fila. But yeah, that's just it's just how it is with that. I just
You're just an
Integra.
Integra
I fell in love with my first car, and I fell in love with that chassis. Don't get me wrong. I've sat in Jessica's car. I've sat in Jerry's car. I've sat in countless cars, helping them move them and everything. And I don't know. It's just that feeling where like the dash don't feel the same, just the way the car feels. But once even getting into Robert Romero's car when I was helping him drive his car to the staging lanes while he was I think away real quick. Even in a DA, anything with an Integra, it just
He fucking.
No, I don't like
He
DAs. I don't like
hates
DAs.
DAs.
it's just the
That's
hates
not
it.
It's also blood because him, but yeah.
hashtag just those Integra things. it's just one of those. It's just I
like DCs. I like DCs. DCs and EG hatches are what I like.
I just sitting in it, like when I have to move Ghost to go get it aligned, or like when we're pulling it out of the pits or something, like sitting in there, like it doesn't matter. You can have a 25.5, you can have aftermarket dash or anything, but the moment that I sit in there and I could like, it just feels like I'm in Luna again, in the Kirky seat, driving it around. Just feeling at home, like nothing has changed. But I know when I get out of it, it's not that car, but it's just that feeling with Integras is just, it makes me feel like this chassis was made for me.
Real quick, to end the show, we always try to get this question answered. What's some advice or tips you can give to these young racers, to these people that watch this that may not be on any level that you're on, or Mason's on, or I'm on,
the real
or
small fish.
The real small fish, you know what I'm
The
saying?
ones coming
the
up.
ones that don't get the privilege of being around these top-notch race cars as much as we do, in a sense, you know what I mean? But what's something you can give to these guys?
Don't be afraid to come around the people that you think that are big fish. Honestly, don't be afraid. Because there was moments where I was by myself, and I would be checking my own tire pressure, checking if I had fuel, doing this, doing that by myself. And it sucks because even to this day, well, not to this day, from the last time I was driving around with Luna and going to the track, I was doing everything by myself. But the moment you surround yourself with people that know your level or that want to see you improve, don't think of them as belittling you. They want to help you. They want you to do, and they want to help you, guide you out of the mistakes that they did. So they're not putting you down. They're not bashing on you, really. They're just really helping you learn. Because a good example is when we were in Arizona, I do Jerry's burnouts and I line him up. Our buddy Mike that does Fatty and Sean's burnouts, and the same thing with Ben. When he lines them up, he took me out the way and he's like, no, you got to pull him more forward. And he did the whole setup for Jerry. And I was there and I was looking and I was like, okay. And Mike came up to me and he was like, I'm not trying to take your spot. I know that's yours, but turbo cars, you got them closer to the water box because they're gonna spin. And they're going to get the tires warmed up way more faster than the all-mortar cars. The all-mortar cars, you got to pull them out farther so they're away from the water so no water stays on the tire. And I was like, dude, thank you. Like, I learned that. Like, I know I've been around helping cars, do
This is kind of like a never-ending, a never-ending knowledge kind of thing.
Yeah,
Because,
no.
I mean, even Jason and Noah's Perantu, Jamie Marsh and Jason Bello, all these guys, they're still learning today. I mean, they know way more than all of us, but they're still learning in the sport too, as as they keep progressing and growing.
Yeah, it's a never-ending learning experience, and like I just said earlier, don't take it wrong. Do not take it as if someone's trying to put you.
Don't you use that damn shit. All right, sorry. That's an off-camera thing we'll talk about.
But it's just don't be afraid, because like I said, I was there, and I had started people helping me do my tire pressures, and they would help me line me up, and it's something completely different. And I know now, with all the help I'm giving, I know that the people I've helped out, they're gonna help me back. Like I don't even have to be like, hey, come on, man, all those times. I don't need to, because they know, like, I know out of the kindness of their heart, and as well as they know how much this community and how much I try to influence in a way that the little fish could be. You could be a guppy but still roll with sharks.
Yeah.
And people will mistake you for a shark, but at the end of the day, as long as you're humble about your beginnings with it, because the biggest thing that I have to this day, and I always talk about it, and I know some people have heard the story, and I don't know if you guys heard the story, so like I talked about my crew from day one when I got into my Integra and I started learning was the team when I got the sticker for the team, and it's on the back of the hatch to this day. Bear in mind, it's not even a sticker; it's just the glue of the team. It's called the runes. And people are saying, you've rolled with other teams, you're doing this and doing that, why don't you just take it off? Well, that sticker has always showed me of my humble beginnings. And even to this day, you're never going to see me be like, oh, my car's fucking faster than you, or like, I can do this and that. We'll shoot the shit and we'll bash on each other, but at the end of the day, it's knowing where you've begun and where you're at now to look back at it and be like, man, you've come a long way, and you're inspiring a lot of people. And I know I've inspired people, and some people would say, "Oh, well, you're with these guys. You're gonna make it seem like that." I'm like, no, because I know this story, and I'm told about it all the time. Is I don't take that sticker off because it's a reminder of who I am. And the moment that I take that sticker off, is gonna be pretty much me just saying, "Fuck everything I worked for," about my humble beginning, everything I've always preached about.
Yeah.
For me to throw it away and say, that was back in the day, man. Like, I don't give a fuck about them because I know a lot of them. They're doing their own thing, but at the same time, they do it for a reason. Everybody has their reasons. Why haven't I just gotten into another Integra and thrown something together? Like, it took a lot of time for me to move away from it and letting it go. That's why we were talking about this. I wanted to name the car Luna V2, but I knew that was one car and the next car won't be like it. But I knew that the name that I knew I would name the next one would be something that would inspire me to know what it is. And it's called, I wanted it to call it the Redemption or La Redención. But a name came up that Jessica threw, which says, why not La Reconexión? The reincarnation.
The reincarnation.
But it pretty much be whatever I use from the old stuff, which was still surprisingly the back hatch, the key, the garment, and the back bumper, and some extra stuff. But always remember that no matter what happens, that legacy that you start and where you learn from it, to never forget about it. Because when it comes to the next step, it's just going to be another reincarnation of what you originally started as. So you never let it go. You just got to be ready to move on from it and build something better. So it wouldn't say much of a V2 because you're not a version 2 because it's not
the same car.
It's not the
same car.
It's not the same color. It's not the same anything.
But it's gonna be a reincarnation of what it was before to become something better. So don't be afraid to surround yourself around people that you think don't want to help you, because in reality, they really want to help you. Because Aaron and Sean were the biggest ones. Jason was another one. Like, a lot of my friends and family, like, my list is big.
Those the guys, I mean, even when we went down there, I mean, even before we went down there to film their episodes, they were, when I was at DRN, when I brought my car down there, they were like, yo, if you need anything, let us know. We're
and that's the thing.
And I didn't know them. They had watched, I think we had like maybe, 2 or 3 episodes out for the podcast at that point, and they didn't know me for shit, but they reached their hand out because of that, and they were like, yo, like, if you need any help, let us know. You guys need a burger.
Well, it was the same thing when we went down and filmed.
We went down there, bro, they fucking shot us parts and fucking...
Well, not even that. When I was talking to Sean about coming down there, Sean was like, you tell me the day you guys are going to come, I will make it happen. He's like, I don't care when, where, how, or why. He's like, you tell me when, I will make it happen.
Yeah, and that's why the people that you surround yourself with, you will know that those people, like I keep saying, is they're going to help you become bigger. And then it allows them to see who you really are, if you're really in it or you're just somebody that's just going to come and go. Because people, like, are you saying before the podcast, there's some people that come and go and you notice it, like you're saying about your mom and all that, like she could tell real recognizes real.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to definitely stand out, is real recognizes real. I've done my journeys, my adventures, and that shows to a lot of people how passionate I am for it. I lose sleep for my guys to go race.
Yeah.
I don't eat, I don't sleep, I don't drink at times. Nigga, I'm trying to be serious.
no, it's because he said he don't eat, but here he is over here. He said he don't eat, and you don't sleep.
But when it comes to like,
he's over here eating.
When it
for
comes
like
to
the fifth fucking time.
For like the track and all that stuff, like it's
I get it.
I get it.
It's just funny because
Still didn't get his donuts.
It's just one of those where
He's like,
be motivated and just know this. I maybe I might contradict myself.
So like kind of like long story short, you mean like
be ready for
go out there, get it. Don't be scared. Come to us. You know, if you see us at the track, you see this guy. If you need help, I'm pretty sure if you're by yourself and you have nobody line you up, if you see him at the track, you say, "Hey, bro, I know you don't know me, but could you help me line up?" I guarantee you, this man would help you line up.
Same thing like with Robert.
Yeah.
He was lining up the all-wheel drive car at for that garage race. I was back there and I was like, and he was like.
And he just knew because because he's kind of the same way. You know, shout out Rob Beasy once again. You know, he's out there, another guy putting out work. You know what I mean? And you know, don't be scared to be out there. And say nothing to us. If you see Mason out in the streets, you see him at the track, don't be scared to come up to him. You know, we all shoot
ultimately,
only if you have a blunt.
Ultimately, do not be afraid to say, "Give me a hand. Can you throw me some advice?" Because we're not gonna say no. We might laugh at you because you might have gotten the information wrong, but we're not trying to like belittle you, like I said earlier.
And like Mason just said, we've all been there.
We've all been there.
We've
Trust
all been
me.
at that point.
I've been there.
I'm still there. I ask Mason questions all the time. I ask Kevin
Shit,
questions.
Mason asks me questions. But
Shit,
I tell him,
Mason, I'm asking you now.
I'm like, really, bro? And then there's times where like he tells me something. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know that.
So like a perfect instance is like, you know, you never don't do too much street, but when you come to do the street,
you dropped the dog.
Drop his wiener.
But you know, like if you were to go to the street racing, who's the first person you're gonna call? It's gonna be fucking Mason. Like, bro, like I need help.
Right.
What are we doing? You know,
You need help prepping.
Yeah,
What pressure do you run? You go to the track and you find me. Hey, what do you
Yeah.
run your pressures at? What kind of tire you're running? What's your power range right now? Are you motor or turbo? Oh, do this, do that, do that. We're gonna give you advice. We're not gonna be like, oh, run it at like 18 pounds or 10 pounds. No.
I've done that.
If you're running stock axles, play it safe. Run it 9 or 8 maybe. But if you're running upgraded axles, maybe you can bring it down to like 8. You know, like everybody has a personal preference, but all of us that have been doing this, we have a general estimation.
You know, like we did that at the last event. Like one of the Powerline cars came up and he had, I think, like 22 psi in his tires, and he was an all motor car. And I was like, "Yo," I was like, "You need to drop some air." He's like, "Why? They're like 15." Coming to find out his air gauge was busted. And I was like, "Even 15's high." I said, "You need to drop that shit down." I said, "Look at your tire."
Same thing. I've had people that are like running like Toyo Proxy R888Rs or NTO1s, and I've run on street tires before. I'm like, bro, like it's gonna be Spin City for you.
Yeah.
Bring it down to a low pressure because you want the tire to hook.
Yep.
And then you go back and forth. Car bogs, bring it back up. Spins too much, bring it down a little bit. You find that medium point. There.
That's what we did with his car. We played with his tires for a while.
You're gonna figure it out. So when you learn about it and you get better with it, because I know for a fact, and I've seen this like on Instagram and everything. There's that track post where it says you're some little kid's inspiration at the track. You know, keep the inspiration going. Something like that.
There's always a little kid that's right there. You know.
Yeah, that they're gonna see it, and some future racer, you know, that wants to do something. They're gonna come to you and they're gonna ask you because they know like you could be genuine with them.
No, that's a good one. I like that. So glad you're here. Thank you for sitting down with us. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys having me here.
You got any shout outs you want to give out?
Yes, I do. I got a long list because
he's been waiting on this the whole time.
I had to make sure because if I forget somebody,
he was like, I don't want to do the episode unless I can do my shout out list.
I'm for real. Do a blooper.
I'll do what I can.
Right.
But it's somewhat of a big list, but not too much because there's a lot of people in my racing.
Don't be mad if you're forgotten.
Yeah, my bad. There's
basically, he's got a big
there's
list.
So many people that have helped me throughout my journeys in the East Coast and the West Coast. Even people that I've never met that offered me to help me out any way they can. So don't take it as wrong. So, you know, Jason's the biggest one right now. You know, thank you for everything. You know, a great mentor, a great tutor. You always inspire me. Even when you try to bust my balls and everything like that. Like I know you see the potential and you want it all out of me, and I cannot thank you enough, man. Erica over at Grams, Dave at Skunk 2, Guillermo with GRP or GPR, I'm sorry. Eric and his father over at Action Clutch. I told shut the fuck up. Marcos over at Magnus, Jeff and Joey over at Cylinder Support System, One Way Performance, Al, Freddie Tune, Freddie, Robert Romero with Hush Performance, and Sin City Dragster. Big shout out to Think Fat Racing, all the boys over there, Sean, Aaron, Mike, Ben, everybody out there, you guys are a big inspiration.
Hey, Aaron, fuck you.
Aaron over at Speed Factory.
Shout out to my
Love
guy.
you, my boy. Fucking my boy Jose from Florida. Much love. Otis over at Boosted Performance. Jerry Built Racing. Backer Built. Backer. You know who I'm talking about. Brandon. Omar and Eric over at OJ Performance. If you guys ever need parts, they got you and they'll take care of you guys.
Overnight from Japan.
Huh? Pretty
Overnight
much.
from
Overnight from the East Coast. Branded, John and Tony, they got me into the HD New Hampshire. So a big shout out to them, and they're still part of it. Harry Sparks of Sparks Racing. Big shout out to Dan, the Soft Spot as well. Thank you for everything.
The Bearded Wonder.
The Bearded Wonder. Unique Photography and Urel Photographs. Urel, I forget about you. All the boys over at Nice Ones. Fucking Force Fed. All my boys in Vegas too. Fucking all the boys. Fucking, I know there's a lot of you guys out there. Frank, fucking Chooch, fucking George, both of you guys, everybody. Miz over at I Shoot You, Barra Media for the good pictures and videos that you always catch me. Camera Mafia, my boy Doobie. I know the list is long. I'm sorry, guys.
No. Go ahead. Go.
Boosted GSR 95, my boy from Idaho. He has another Integra. He sent me parts over for.
So it's gotta be an
Goddamn
Integra.
Integra, guys.
Making Integra great again, okay? I will harp that till the day I die. My boy Ramel, he also does 1320 Dreams. Big shout out for Albert, SB Machine Shop. He's the one that does all my head work and everything like that. The blocks too. Also helped out Mason too. Sorry your shit blew up. Blake and Kevin over at Final Pursuit Racing. Fucking my boy Joe over at McLeod.
He's doing a hot dog at him. Oh fuck!
Another big shout out to the weenie just flying. John and Ken Roach over at Ken's Race Engine.
Racing Engines.
Racing Engines.
Shout out Ken's Race
Doobie.
Engines. Sorry guys.
Doobie.
The sad thing is that
Frank
no one
over
will
at
ever
Down
see
Star,
that
thank
part.
you.
Snow.
And
Fuck.
hopefully,
To a part.
oh, my best friend Maria. Also, my girlfriend Jessica.
I was waiting on that one. Also, he made it to the whole list.
I'm gonna stitch
She
you
didn't shout out his
out.
girlfriend.
And you know what? I want this shout out to be big because hopefully they'll notice me. At Fila's.
Fila.
I'm gonna start tagging you on all my posts that involve lining cars up because you will see me wearing the cop collar one. The fucking.
Please don't come color. Once that's how you're not gonna get sponsored.
Right.
They're also known as the grandpa shoes. That hashtag grandpa shoe. Hashtag if they roll up in a
Hashtag
fucking.
dad mode.
Hashtag
Dad mode.
Hashtag an American muscle car is gonna roll out and fucking gap your ass.
That's one long ass hashtag.
and ultimately the big and ultimately with them the biggest hashtag the Fila 9s because they have gotten countless
Fila
cars
9s. That will be
everything.
hashtag all over this.
and also
Hey,
it's
is
a-
that why Mason broke? You
No,
lined
he
him
went-
up in the Mason 9
he
in the
went
Fila
he
9s.
he went
You can have
9s
the-
3
But you
times.
took
You
when
didn't
you
have the fuck
he-
around and find out one.
Exactly. You
That's
still
why
had the
I-
9s on.
You
That's why he
should've
couldn't go
switched-
faster
I
than
didn't-
9.
Jason, that's why you should have switched your shoes on that last one.
I didn't have the fuck around and find out
Oh,
ones
fuck.
at that
We
time
all
and
did.
then
We found it. We figured it
and
out.
then,
It's
you know,
all
also
his
over,
fault.
over with FCS race is gonna be Chris Cook, Adrian, the nose that knows, fucking Get Money Greg, John and all them, and pretty much to just finish this off, you know, I know this is probably one of the biggest inspirations for a car, which is my car Luna. You know, you made Integra great again. I know it's not around. It sucks, but La Encarnacion is gonna make you proud.
Cool. All right, man. Thanks for being
Thanks
on the show,
again, guys.
Appreciate it. Once
you.
again, guys,
Thank
don't
you.
forget, like, comment, subscribe, follow. We're on Apple, iTunes Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Podcast Addict if you got an Android and only listen to it on there.
We're also on YouTube,
We're
so
on
for some
YouTube.
reason, now that we have audio, everyone thinks we're off of YouTube.
Yeah, no, we're there. We're on there too.
We're on it all.
Follow us on Instagram. I'm working on getting the Facebook page going up. I don't know why we need that, because who cares about Facebook? We're not Facebook racers, but yeah. So we'll do it because people ask for it. But
Right?
thank you, Mason, for letting us shoot here. Thank
Oh
you,
yeah,
Gutz.
Mason's the last one too. Mason, I got you right here.
He didn't pay you. Don't shout him
I
out.
know you paid.
But-
Oh, also too, the biggest shout out is HTV Ryan, man. I didn't forget about you again. I gotta end
That
it with
guy,
you,
yeah.
you know. Don't worry, man. Calm
Yeah,
down.
because all of a
alright?
sudden we're fake ass friends.
Yeah,
shit, you know, all
and,
that bullshit.
Not me. I still get invited.
Oh, if you need a driver or a cook or something for the track,
we are here. We
well,
are here.
drivers, but if
Drivers.
you need a cook,
I don't
you
need-
come
I'm not
out
saying
like
a
your
cook.
boy. All right.
I'll cook. I didn't drive it.
Thanks.
I'm out.
Later.